What is going on, everybody? This is the Underground Runaround, episode 10. We got some things to talk about with you folks today. I am Brad Ross with our co-host Pav Daddy, our news senior lead anchor guy, Brett. He still hasn't given me a formal title. And we do have a guest to talk NFTs and just the hobby in general, our good friend Jim Rosati. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to hang out for a bit tonight.
Yeah, man. Just hang out. Brett, same thing like I told you earlier, brother. We do the news, whatever. You can hang out if you want to talk NFTs with us or if you have questions, because Jim's basically going to educate me, and in turn, we're going to educate everybody else. I didn't get to do nearly as much research as I wanted to before we got him here, but he's here, and we're going to use that time to pick his brain. The one thing before we get started, Giambi. We lost Giambi today. Pav, you want to talk about that at all, or anything you want to? You brought it up, so it's on you.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, Giambi was
Jeremy, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's the one. He was an okay baseball player.
He wasn't Jason, right? We're not trashing the guy at all, but
no.
We just found out right before we started recording this that he passed away. So
yeah,
so that's unfortunate. 47. They asked for privacy. Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out in a few months what happened. But in other hobby-related news, a friend of ours, a customer of mine, a customer of a lot of people in the hobby. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to put too much of his information out there. A good friend of ours, Jason, his house burned down last night. So, or not last night, 2 nights ago. I'm sorry. Maybe it was during the day. I don't know all the specifics. The man lost everything. Myself, along with Cajun Breakers, who I do not know. So if they hear this, shout out to Cajun Breakers. I don't know you, but I do know that you're doing something for him. Seabass Wagner, who I don't know until last night, reach out to me as well. He's doing something in his room. There's a lot of people in the hobby trying to do some things for this man. His kids lost their collection, their clothes, everything. And we've done some things in the past, charitable-wise, that has sort of bitten me in the ass, doing good things for bad people. So I'm I'm a lot more careful about who I endorse in terms of doing good. So if you want to do some good, reach out to me through any underground channel. There's a post. I'll get you information or anything. Some big people have stepped up to help. Steel City Collectibles being one of them. I have like a wholesale account with them. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but I don't do a lot of business with them. So for them to step up and say, hey, we want to help another person in the hobby speaks volumes to them and the operation they have going on. If any other big people out there hear this and they want to do anything for Jason, I'm sure it'd be greatly appreciated. That's all I'm going to say. That's not really what we're here for, but it's definitely news I want to get out there to the people. If anybody can do anything to help, it'd be fantastic. The big reason why we're here, though, well, one of the 2 big reasons why we're here, 2022 Series 1 next week. In 1 week, it will be here. And I'm sure there's a lot of questions. Like, who, what, why, wander? I wonder if anybody's good besides Franco. I don't know. It doesn't look good. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I highlighted a few things. There's 49 total rookies in the checklist. The checklist is only 330 cards in the base set. I didn't look into autographs or any of that. I just specifically wanted to speak on the rookies because generally people want to know who to chase. And I'm here to tell you that there's nobody to chase. You got Wander, and there's some other guys. Like, here's the one that really gets me, and I'm going to read this list and at least cover everybody very briefly. But the second big name that comes up is Jarren Duran for the Red Sox, and I don't fucking get it. Be perfectly honest with you. Hang on, is that my box from UPS? Are you kidding me? I've been fighting with UPS all day over a 2-day late next day air package on a break that I have currently sold out that I couldn't do today because that box is 2 days late. And I got an email saying right before we went on here that it was rescheduled till tomorrow. I've been fighting with them on Twitter, on the phone. I actually got somebody on the phone. I don't even know if that's a package because my tracking says tomorrow. But my wife just walked down here with the gigantic box. Back to Duran. I don't get it. I looked at everything he's done. I don't understand because he got pretty hyped up last year, and I don't get it. Jim, do you know anything about Duran?
Yeah, I mean, so same thing. Like when he got called up last year, he was kind of the next hot thing. Couple things with Duran that kind of strike me, and you mentioned you don't get it. I mean, I see he's dripping with athleticism, right? He's fast, should be able to play pretty good defense. He's got the tools, like he's a toolsy guy. But then you mentioned like why? Because you look at the underlying numbers, he only got 112 plate appearances last year, but he struck out a lot. And that's something that you don't really want to see. It's not like he was super young either. He was 24.
Right.
He's going to be 25 next year. 35% strikeout rate, 3.6% walk rate. Those aren't really the makings for somebody who you think of positively.
And all the rookie numbers that we're going to go over, most of these guys had extremely small samples. Like Jim said, the at-bats, 107, what'd you say, 111 plate appearances? Something like that?
Yeah, 112.
Yeah, he only walked 5 times. So that's still an incredibly small sample. But the other thing I noted in my notes was that he wasn't exactly killing it in AAA either. I mean, he was doing okay, but he wasn't tearing the cover off the ball. There's actually some other guys that surprised me, like Jake Myers for the Astros, who we'll cover a little bit as maybe a sleeper type of guy, if you believe in that sort of thing, from a 25-year-old. He was absolutely destroying it in AAA with the slash line 343, 408, and 598. I mean, that's good. And my slash line is, the traditional one, average, on base, and slugging. I don't play the OPS game and all that like my man Brozotti down there probably does. I brought a big metrics guy to the show, I think.
You did.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine though.
Yeah.
That's fine. But yeah, he just seemed like the clear-cut number 2 guy, Duran, and I don't understand. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but to your point, he is not young. It's not like he's 20. If he was 20, all of this is forgiven and chalked up to a learning experience, especially after losing out on the 2020 campaign. But I don't get it. I wish everyone were going to talk about nothing but luck. So please don't take that out of context. But we're speaking objectively here, and that's all we can do. If it's not good, it's not good. So,
who was the last big rookie from a Series 1 product? Ohtani? Was Ohtani Series 1?
Ohtani he was in Series 2.
He was not
Series
Series
1. He was in Topps big league.
He was
People
in
were chasing him in that.
He was in Don Russ though. That's why you probably think it's Series 1 because he was in everything
right, so he hasn't...
but Series 1. It seems like in 18.
So who's the last big rookie that we've had to chase in Series 1?
See, here's the thing. Like Ozzie Albies was a rookie in Series 1 in 18. Walker Buehler. Those are absolute stud ball players.
But they weren't really chases back then. We didn't know.
Nope.
Until, like, Albies really didn't get hot until he went on that run, right? Hitting the home runs at the beginning of the season. Then his stuff started to take off. And Buehler, we didn't really get hot till after pitching a few really good games.
Last year you had everyone, but no one really separated themselves. Mm-hmm. It was all like top tier draft talent that was finally getting up to the big leagues. That was the biggest last offseason for baseball, in combination with the way the singles market worked, was the biggest speculation offseason I've ever seen in my time in the hobby, because we always talk about it. Prices usually dip until spring training, and then they plateau, and then the good guys start to go up. Last year was like this the whole offseason. You couldn't speculate on anybody because they were already speculated on. So everybody was just waiting for that new crop of rookies. They all showed up, and they all underperformed. And some of them did really well as far as rookie years go, but baseball people have been spoiled with generational type talent. In 18, 19, hell, even 17, you had Judge, who wasn't a hot commodity coming into the season, he wasn't even a guaranteed lock to make the Yankees roster, and performed. So we've had, and then you had Seager in 17 as well, or I'm sorry, Bellinger in 17. You had Bregman in 17. I don't know if those guys were in Series 1, but you had top tier talent. 17, 18 is self-explanatory. 19 was phenomenal. Even 20 was good with
I would say
Robert.
20 was good with Bichette and Jordan.
Yep, and Robert.
That was Series 2.
Right. Yeah, Series 1. I was just speaking on the whole class. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Was it Alonso? Pete Alonso was Series 1?
He is 2019 Series 2.
He was Series 2, yeah.
Series 2 with Eloy,
Absolutely.
Alonso, Tatis. There's someone else, Vladdy
The
Jr. with the
Vlad
no
no
number.
number.
Yep. Yeah, there was like the big four in 19 Series 2.
I don't know, man. I think with like the hype around Wander and like the print runs that we usually see with Series 1 could be a good opportunity to flip a whole bunch of Wanders really early.
What do you think, though? Like, because I don't think it's going to be base cards. And then Series 1 scares me with quality. Card stock's dog shit. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Last year's flagship was alarming. I remember opening the first bits of 21 Series 1 and going, wow, this is not so great. And we were holding up 2020 update cards right next to it going, something's off here. So I don't know.
We'll,
I don't know
we'll
how
count
much.
how many Wanders you get in your case.
Right. I don't
See where
know.
it's at.
I don't know how many you're going to pull out of a case. I don't know how much the production is going to increase because I'm going to have to assume until we find out otherwise that production is going to continue to increase. It definitely did last year. There's no doubt about it. But it does open the door for parallels. But, I mean, flagship just has tons of soft corners. I mean, it's soft corner central for flagship. I think, that, and people love Chrome. So Chrome under-delivers, though, but it has the card stock everybody wants.
Lots of great $1 pitcher autos, dude.
Fantastic. But, I mean, that's really all there is to talk about in Series 1. You have Wander, and then you have Brujan, and I mean, he was doing okay in AAA, and then he didn't get a big sample size. But those are two of probably the top 5 chasier kind of players, and they're on the same team. So I think the Astros have a couple guys you could look at, and then there's a couple decent pitchers, but I mean most of it is just it's not good. It's just not good. So instead of me sitting here telling you how not good it is, I suppose we will just cut right into it. Friends, I did this in order of the checklist. So this is not by teams. It is by their card numbers. So I'll tell you their card numbers just for the sake of keeping up with us at home. But the first rookie on the checklist is Gavin Sheets. You guys jump in wherever you feel like. If you have anything to add or questions, just folks listening, it's really hard for us to not talk over each other doing this all remotely. It's really hard to pick up on the cues with the internet delay and things like that. So the first rookie is card number 12, Gavin Sheets for the Chicago White Sox. He's not terrible. He's a 25-year-old first baseman. Hit 250 with a 324 on base, 160 at bats. I mean, that's pretty. Technically, now that's above Major League average in terms of
830 OPS. If he could translate those numbers into a season, but you know how it is for value. He's got to hit 40 home runs.
So these are good big league numbers if he could sustain them. But yeah, for the hobby, I don't. It doesn't mean anything to anybody, especially playing first base and being 25. I mean,
So I think that's a common theme you're going to see here with all of these. Like we're going to run into a few people who can hit while we go through this checklist. The problem, and this really just has to do with the situation from 2 years ago, is just all these guys, especially the college draft picks, they missed an entire year of baseball where they would have normally maybe debuted as a 23-year-old. Instead, they debuted as a 24-year-old, and now they're going to be 25, right? So you're going to see that common theme throughout this checklist. And, 25-year-old rookies don't really tend to get a whole lot of love.
No, not at all. Nick Bennett, who we had on the show a few episodes ago with the Brewers, he was a part of that situation, being a 19 draft choice, I believe. He was in 2020 Bowman draft, but I believe he was a 19 draft choice. He said he made his pro debut after he got drafted that summer in 19, and then in 2020 he actually played independent baseball. He got the Brewers to sign off for him to go play somewhere else. And he said he did it simply so he could get the experience, but he said a lot of minor leaguers didn't have that opportunity. So some people did get to go play, but most of them didn't, So he just got to get some innings in, and it's a big deal when you lose a whole year, especially being a college kid, like you said, because you're already kind of behind in the age department. As far as we're concerned in investing in potential Hall of Fame caliber players, which is just the weirdest thing to say. I just appreciate big league talent. That's my biggest, gripe with the hobby. Everybody's got to be a Hall of Famer, and then once they're Hall of Famers, nobody gives a shit about them. Go, what's a Jim Rice anything sell for?
That's the problem is you have so many guys now that are going to be like fringe Hall of Famers. So most of the guys that are going to be Hall of Famers that are playing in the league now, people have no idea. They have no idea who this guy's going to – like they're going to be like, oh, he was an all-star, but he's not a Hall of Famer. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it years from now, and these guys are going to be the best players from this era, a lot of guys are going to make the Hall of Fame that people just didn't expect.
It's an interesting take because you're right. I mean, I don't know. Outside of the obvious locks.
Yeah. I think it's you have even like with the age that guys come up in the league now, you have a whole thing with the analytics, right? Where teams say, okay, this is how we win baseball. So there's no point in bringing these guys up and letting them learn how to play baseball in the major leagues when we don't have to. They can play some scrub, some barely made it to the majors guy, and fill the roster and just play the analytics game. And I mean, it's happening more and more, right? With all the rookies, it's a lot more common to see 24 and 25-year-old rookies. I'd say that's probably about the average age now.
Yeah, I don't know, but you're probably pretty close. We got a lot of turds to cover, so let's start covering these turds, boy. Card number 18, Kansas City Royals, Emmanuel Rivera, 25-year-old third baseman. Decent average at 256 and 90 at bats, but just showed no power. No power at third base. I don't even know how we waste any more than 30 seconds on this guy. Next, Jake Cousins, card number 20, Brewers, 27-year-old reliever. Next, Brian De La Cruz, card number 22, Marlins, 25-year-old outfielder. He had some really nice numbers. 296, 356, 427, 199 at bats. Put up a positive WAR right around 1, I believe. I can't say I saw him play a lot. I don't watch the Marlins very frequently. I don't think any of us in this room do. We all watch a lot of NL Central baseball. So, he's 25 though, and that's to your point. Even with those good numbers, he's already old for most people who prospect, things like that. So I could see him getting $1 for a rookie card, something like that, being in that dollar range if somebody wants to take a chance. But it's hard to put a Hall of Fame career up when you start at 25. Not saying it can't be done, but the bigger thing, I think, especially if we're just going to get off topic and talk about Hall of Famers, is those guys perform from like 34 to 40, like Verlander, and I'm using a pitcher for an example, but there's a guy who's older and he's still dominating. Max Scherzer, guys like that. You got to find those type. It's almost to the point we get so hung up on what you do early on. It's like, no, dude, you got to have some longevity, some staying power, some consistency to do it year in and year out. And a lot of guys you start seeing hit 33, 34 start declining. If you're declining at that age, then it's not going to happen even if you start at 18. So 18 or 25 whenever you get here. Get here, but you got to perform. Got to continue to perform. 25 is Brujan for the Rays. We spoke on him a little bit. He didn't get much big league experience. Didn't do very well. He was doing okay at AAA. But he stole a lot of bases. That was my big note. He's got wheels. He did hit 12 home runs in AAA, knocked in 56, stole 44 bases. So he's 23. I don't know what that means. He's likable, but he's got to perform. And his sample size just wasn't big enough for us to make any type of real assessment, at least at the big league level. You're talking maybe 26 at-bats. What is that? 6, 7, 8 games worth of at-bats. So anybody could have a good week or a bad week. Can't make a real hard decision based on that. I really feel like you need a full season or two, maybe even an off season to show you can do it 1 year and then come back and show that you can still do it. So that's my opinion. Of course, that's not a rule or anything, but Jim, do you want to add anything on Brujan at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned Wander, right, as the star. I think a lot of people are going to have Brujan as kind of the main guy in the supporting cast here.
Yep.
He was a top 15 prospect going into last year. Scouts like his defense. They love his speed. They think the power will come. He can hit. I think overall he's going to be like a well-rounded baseball player. I think if everything goes like well, you're looking at like an Ozzie Albies type of guy, but that's if everything goes well. That's kind of what we're looking at. So I think he's a good supporting character here, and I would imagine he will get more playing time this year on that Rays team. But you do have Lau kind of blocking him too at second base. So It's kind of like where, what are you going to do with him?
They moved Brasso to Milwaukee, and he was a bench bat and went between AAA and the big leagues. He had a really big 2020 for the Rays in the postseason. They moved him to Milwaukee, but really all that does is open up a bench spot for Brujan. So you don't really want to bring... I wouldn't assume you don't want to bring up too many 23-year-old kids to start once or twice a week. That's not good for the development. Sometimes at that age, you just need to see as many pitches as you can. Because even if it's not the best pitching, you can work on your plate discipline or something. Lots of pitchers, though, here. We're going to go through a stretch of pitchers. At 30, Kyle Muller for the Braves, 24-year-old kid. Went 2-4. Had a whip 1.25, which is okay. 37 strikeouts, 20 walks. Nothing crazy. Matt Manning is a little more notable talking about because he was a first-round draft choice in 2016 for the Tigers. He's also 24, so he had to have been a high school draft kid. 4-7 with the 580. The numbers are awful. 1.5 on the whip. 57 strikeouts, 33 walks, but he had pretty okay minor league numbers. So the Tigers aren't good. That ballpark's gigantic. I don't know how much those things played into his poor performances, but he's been a highly, not incredibly high, but they've been high on him, obviously, being a first-round draft choice. So we'll see if he could turn it around, but we don't invest in pitchers for the most part anyway, and he didn't perform. Mason Thompson, card number 38, Washington Nationals, 23-year-old, pretty much the same thing. Whip is almost 2, and that's not so good. Jim, what's your favorite stat to use for pitchers? Because obviously, even I understand ERA is not the thing you look at.
So if you look at a combo, I look at like walk rate and strikeout rate a lot.
Yep.
And I'm a big FIP guy. XFIP. That's kind of my go-to as far as projecting goes.
Will you explain that for the people?
So FIP is fielding independent pitching. So it's basically like how well did the pitcher do if you take like everything out of the equation that he has no control over, right? So it's mostly built around strikeouts, walks, and home runs. Those are the things that the pitcher can like directly control. So it's a good way to, I think, predict like future outcomes based off of past performance. So like somebody like, if we're talking about Matt Manning, for example, his FIP was better than his ERA. So and that was mostly due, his walk rate wasn't too bad. So it's just one of those things where I look at that number because in a long run of a 162 game season, you're going to have luck, you're going to have bad luck, but strikeouts, walks, and home runs, those are kind of things that the pitcher controls.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everybody follow along at home. Perfect. No, I mean, it makes a ton of sense. So I just want to make sure people listening go, well, why is he talking about them fucking Illinois people again? Those are the FIPs I know, Brett. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Ooh. Come over here on 8094. Well, you better know how to drive, son. All right. Sorry, Jim. You're too southern for this localized talk here.
I'm not from the South originally, so I know what you guys are talking about.
Moving on, Josiah Gray, Washington Nationals, card number 43, 24-year-old rookie, starting pitcher. Again, high ERA. I don't know what his FIP was. The whip's not so bad. He had a lot of strikeouts, 76 strikeouts against 33 walks. I remember him being like in minor league products and things along the way, so it's not like he's an unknown. He's a guy that even, the card companies have been keeping tabs on. So he's somebody you could look out for. I just, the hobby in general doesn't care too much about the pitchers, and the Nationals are in a rough spot right now, so I don't know. He had really good minor league stats, though, is the one thing I'll say about Josiah Gray. That was my note in all capitals. Really good minor stats. I didn't write anything down, but apparently he did very well. 58, my favorite name for the rookies. We got Lars Nootbaar. Love that. Cardinals, though. Not a big Cardinals guy. Pretty well average big league stats, a little below big league stats in 109 at bats. He's 24. Jackson Reitz, card number 61 for the Nationals, a 26-year-old catcher with 2 at bats. That's all I'm gonna say, because the Nationals have more rookie catchers that we'll get to down the road. So what does that tell you? But no Frank Schwindel in the entire 330 card set. Tops, what are you doing? Come on. We got 2 rookie catchers for the Nationals that no one's going to care about. And the guy who literally made Cubs baseball interesting in the second half of the season, in a bad season, hit over 300 in his time in the big leagues, who had a carded 2019 update with the Tigers. He does have a rookie card, but you can't even get that man in the set. It's crazy. Some of the omissions from the way they've put the set together is kind of surprising. I'm sure we'll see him in Series 2 or whatever, because he's not guaranteed to even be back. Or if he's back, we're not guaranteed that he's even going to perform like that. That was a flash-in-the-pan type of deal, and it was fantastic to watch. It was like Brian LaHair for us Cub guys. He had a really good couple of months. Really good couple of months. Snuck into an all-star game and disappeared from planet Earth. So, who knows? That's every time I see a first baseman do well for the Cubs, that's all I could think about is LaHair.
He got stabbed with that bat, right?
No, that was Tyler Colvin.
Oh, another guy flashed the pan.
A really big Tyler Colvin fan, yeah. He was on third base. I forget who they were playing. It was a broken bat, and the part where the bat broke off on the handle punctured him in the chest. Literally stuck him right in the chest with a broken bat. Unfortunate. Hopefully Tyler Colvin's doing good wherever you're at, buddy. Come on the show. Hang out with us sometime. Tell us about it. What's it like to get poked with a bat?
Yeah, that was nuts. That was a while ago, too.
It was a while ago. What else do we have here? Philadelphia Phillies, card number 62, Luke Williams. Another guy. Who knows? He's outfield second base. 25 years old, very pedestrian. It looks like he has no power. I don't know to be true or not, but just from the slash line, it's not much higher than his on base. So, Jim, you know anything about the guy? Do you like him? Don't like him?
Utility guy. He's not good.
He's not good. There you go.
He could be. You see, they can take steroids now, so maybe
Right.
maybe
That's
these
true.
maybe
Right
these
now.
guys.
So here's the thing. That's an interesting question with the lockout and all that. So technically right now, everybody can sauce away because their agreement has expired. They can just get juicy and look like Alistar over him. If anybody gets that reference, good luck to you. But if this lockout ends tomorrow and they get everything back in place and they start drug testing tomorrow, are all them guys are going to be held accountable? You know what I mean? Like, hey,
They'll
we were
wait 2
legally
months to get clean.
we were legally allowed to do it here for a little bit. So we all just agreed to stop. So just start testing us whenever it's going to be out of our system. I don't know. It's interesting though. But if you work for a company and they have a specific rule that says you can't do this, and then you go work for another company and you go do something over there that was allowed at the other place, you can't do it here. I don't know. I'm not a
There's
lawyer.
few of these rookies that could use it, man. I'm just saying. You get some home runs on the board, it'll make everything a little bit more exciting.
We just need to get baseball back on the board.
No kidding. The big bummer is I have a feeling we're going to get either a short spring training or no spring training. We're not going to be able to see if these guys even play and to see if they produce, in spring training.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Spring training's it's supposed to start in 5 days, something like that.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers were supposed to report, I think, next week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and like when we talked to Nick, there was already tons of people down in Arizona. I'm sure the same thing with Florida, doing extended spring training stuff or like early spring training stuff, getting work in, going through off-season programs. A lot of their higher up talent that they're trying to develop, putting in extra work. So we're not going to get the spring training games. I don't know if we're going to get any spring training at all. Obviously, they probably will want a week or two. I'm sure even the players, just to get things going. But if we lose games from the season, I'm going to be extremely pissed. Extremely pissed. I mean, it seems like that's what's happening, but I don't even want to discuss it. I don't want to talk about it because it's ridiculous. And I don't. Somebody asked me if I would talk about this on the podcast, and I'm so biased towards the players, I don't even want to have the conversation. Just because I'm a union tradesman at heart, so I want those guys to get everything. But what strikes me as bad is that they're literally willing to negotiate. Now, negotiation does not mean you have to get to a deal. It does not mean you have to agree. But it is give and take, and as long as you make little tiny steps along the way, you'll get to the end result. So the fact that the owners said, we're going to counter this latest proposal, and they didn't want to counter the proposal, and they wanted to get a mediator involved, just shows me that they want it all. They don't want to deal with the peons, so to speak. And you can't say that they're peons when these big leaguers are millionaires and things like that, but they have to look out for everybody. They're trying to get some service time things ironed out. They're trying to get some earlier compensation because baseball is a pay me for what you did sport rather than a pay me for what you're going to do type of sport. And they're trying to shift that balance, and I don't know. I really don't.
I think the owners will hold out as long as they can, because right now they don't have any real good negotiating power. So I think if they can hold out, they have money. It's easier for them to live without money than it is for some of the lower end players and stuff. So I think if they can hold out as long as they can, they're kind of thinking, okay, we'll get the players to pull off some of the stuff off the table.
I don't know. It's easier to get 30 people together than it is to get every single player together. That's the one big trump card the owners have. Because there will be a certain point when even the players go, man, fuck this. Let's just give them what they want and let's play. Because there are people, believe it or not, I guarantee you there's still a big chunk of big league ball players that don't give a shit about this and just want to play baseball. Because I was always that way. I mean, granted, I never played for money. Although, I did make a ton of money to go to college and play baseball. But, just people just want to play the game. So that's when it'll be an issue for the MLBPA, when there's people chirping in their representatives' ears saying, hey, let's just get this thing done. Let's play. And then some of the old timer guys that are real into how bargaining and negotiation works saying, no, fuck that. We're doing this. This is what we want. And we're going to get it. So you're going to see some dissent the longer it plays out amongst the players, which is always, I feel like, the goal of the owners, to make the other side just fight amongst each other until they cave. But like I said, I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm 100% biased. For anybody listening at home, I'm not afraid to admit it. I want the players to get everything they want. Period. They played a game. There's no game without them. The owners just get to sit back and have people handle all their duties and collect money. What do they actually do? And I don't know what an owner actually does. I'm an owner. I do a lot of things, but I don't have people doing it all for me, you know? So it's weird. Bro, Zadi, what do you do as an owner down there?
You do nothing.
Yeah. So
you write the checks. That's about it.
You probably don't even write them.
You got someone else to do it for you.
And then you just
gotta sign them.
You don't even sign them. They just have somebody else stamp them.
That's the back of the check you stamp.
Everything's getting stamped. I don't know. That's all direct deposit anyway, and the owner ain't doing that. Those guys don't even know where's the fax machine. Fucking owners. Anyway, where were we? Connor Wong, Boston Red Sox catcher, 25 years old. Who cares? Anybody care?
A lot of 24 and 25-year-olds. That's all I keep hearing.
Oh, there's a lot of catchers and pitchers.
Catchers and pitchers, huh?
Pitchers and catchers that aren't reporting. Cleveland Guardians. We get to call them the Guardians now. Per this set, they will be the Guardians. Ernie Clement. I tried to see if he was related to Matt Clement. I couldn't find anything, so I'm going to assume no. But I could be wrong. 25-year-old, looks like a utility player. I didn't write anything other than they have him listed at second, third, and left field. So I don't think there's much to say. Brewers, pitcher of some note, Aaron Ashby, 23-year-old kid. He made 4 starts and 13 appearances. Had a pretty good whip. I like the whip thing. I didn't write down anything about strikeout or walks. ERA was in the mid-4s. But he's 23, so he's younger than a lot of these guys we're talking about. He's been in cards and things like that. So if you like pitchers, if you're a Brewers guy, you're definitely going to want to pick up him for your collection if you collect
Sandy Ashby's nephew.
Okay.
You remember Andy Ashby or no?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Andy Ashby played for 15 years or so.
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
91 through 2004.
Come on, man. I was born in 1990.
I forgot you didn't watch baseball. My bad.
I came from a broken home, guy. You're lucky if we had the lights on and heat. You over here talking about baseball.
No, he was halfway decent. So I mean, he was good enough to last that long. So maybe that kid has a little bit of pedigree in him. Who knows?
It always helps.
As far as pitchers go, he's one of the top 3 or 4 in this product.
Yeah. Pirates. Rodolfo Castro, card number 85. Jim, I'm going to let you do it. What do you know about your boy Rodolfo?
Kind of a guy without a position. I think he's destined to be a utility guy. He does have a lot of pop. The dude can hit some home runs. He is like one of the younger guys in this set. He's 22. Made his debut last year at 21. And held his own. Like I said, hit with some power. Had a good breakout year in the minors with some power. So we'll see. Like I said, doesn't really have a position. He's probably best slated for third base, and that's Key Brian Hayes territory there for a while. So I think he's utility guy.
That brings us with the pop. The next guy, another guy with pop. 97, card number 97, Texas Rangers, Curtis Terry. He's pretty much a one-trick pony with the power. He had terrible numbers, though. and he didn't do very well. He's 25, first base DH, but he did have a lot of home runs in the minors throughout the course of like 3 or 4 different campaigns. Not much else to say. 25 might hit
terrible
some bombs.
Numbers, last year. Just small sample size, but terrible numbers.
Yep. And then speaking of Pop, card number 108 is Zach Pop for the Miami Marlins, 25-year-old reliever. He did pitch 54 innings. I don't know if he made any starts. He had about a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is pretty good. But he's a reliever. Nobody's going to care about you if you're only pitching 60 innings a year. He's just a rookie in the set that actually has a legitimate sample size of big league pitching. He pitched 54 and 2/3 innings out of the bullpen, and that's a pretty good workload, as a lower man on the bullpen totem pole. Maybe one of the best on paper performances from the rookies last year. Card number 111, Cincinnati Reds, Tony Santillan, maybe, if you double up them L's. 24, he did start 4 times in 26 appearances. 2.91 ERA. He did strike out 56 people in 43 innings, so he's putting up the strikeout numbers a little bit. And his whip was around 1 1/4, which isn't terrible. I don't know what the average is. Jim, do you know what the big league whip average is?
Whip?
Yeah.
Probably somewhere around 135, 1.4.
Yeah. But even 1.4 seems high. Like one. Yeah. But yeah, that's walks and hits per inning pitched. For those of you that do not know that, that's one of my things I like for pitchers because it's very simple. Walks and hits. Granted, like Jim said with the FIP, pitchers don't always control what is a hit and what isn't. As a ball's in play for that statistic, he only likes the home runs, which I totally understand. But you do have 8 other guys on the field that do have to play baseball. Unless you're going to strike out all 27 people.
Yep, that's true.
How often has that happened? Outside of prep baseball, because I bet it's happened. I bet it's happened in a high school game or two.
I'm sure it has.
He really made a big jump last year in his strikeouts per 9 innings, and so something really clicked for him.
Yeah, the spider tack.
Something, dude. I mean, you look at his numbers, like even in the minors, they really weren't impressive. And then last year, something just clicked, and he went from 8 strikeouts per 9 to 12 strikeouts per 9 in the minors, and then had 11.6 in the majors. So if he could keep that up, that's where you want your freaking relievers to be. So
yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm just looking at the time. We are going to speed this up or we're going to be here all night because I really do want to talk about NFT stuff. We do, Jim. We are going to be here a while, so I mean, it's what we do.
Hey, I got nothing else to do. I can talk about baseball forever, so we're good.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I've had the only complaints I've had about the podcast are the length of the episodes, and to those people, I will tell you to just break it down into chunks. You just get more content out of the whole deal. Just because we only put out 1 episode does not mean you have to sit down and watch it all the way through. And that's why I did tell some of those people we will try and segment some things. And I will let you know when we're changing topics. So if you want to find that as a stop point, I'll try and note a time. I did tell some people that we'll try and put it in the descriptions with the episodes, but I'm not going to get too hung up. If a podcast goes 10 hours and we're sitting here talking about good stuff to listen to, or it's free flowing and there's no reason to stop, then we're not going to stop. Now, is that ever going to happen? No. But I'm not putting a limit on it. I did read it's like 45 to 50 minutes is like the ideal length. I don't give a shit. It's my show with Pav and Brett and whoever we bring on, and it's going to go till it's over.
They can watch YouTube with their kids.
Yeah.
They want to watch a 45-minute show. Go watch YouTube with the kids, man. Go watch Blippi or something.
Ooh, I do not like Blippi. There's a new Blippi, you know that?
I don't know anything about it.
Oh,
thank
yeah.
God.
Yeah, there's a new dude on Netflix. So now there's 2 Blippies. It's not good. My kids love that shit. Oh, then Coco Melon. Oh, you guys ever seen Coco Melon? Not good. Moving on. Alex Wells, Baltimore Orioles, card number 118. 24-year-old pitcher. Really great minor league numbers. Awful pro numbers in 42 2/3 innings is what I wrote. Next pitcher, Arizona Diamondbacks, card number 130. Tyler Gilbert. He's 28 years old. That brings us to the next notable player, 130.
Real quick on Gilbert, though. Really
Sure.
cool story. He was the guy who pitched the no-hitter in his major league debut last year.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. That's I
Kinda
forgot
cool.
about that. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I've totally forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Every time I talk about the Diamondbacks season last year, I always say they won less games than they did. I think they only won about 5 games now, where I'm at with their squad, unfortunately. Louise Gill at card number 131, Yankees prospect pitcher, 23 years old. He did pitch 29 1/3 innings last year with 38 strikeouts. He did walk 19 guys in those 29 innings, but 38 strikeouts is pretty good, even in a small sample size. I don't know much about him other than that, but the numbers look good, and he's 23, and he's a Yankee. So Yankees, just for hobby purposes, always more than your average team. Zach Lowther, card 133, Baltimore Orioles, 25-year-old pitcher. He was awful all of last year between the minors and the big leagues, but he was really well up until through Double-A ball. He pitched really well from 2017 to 2019. So I don't know what happened when he jumped up in competition. Maybe he'll get it together. Maybe he won't. He's 25. That brings us to the Mets, card number 134. Taylor Mcgill. He did pitch a lot. He did pitch 89 innings in the big leagues, 18 starts, so a little over half a season worth of starts out of him. But just, average or maybe a little bit below average numbers out of him, and he's 26. Astros coming in at card number 135, Chaz McCormick, 26-year-old outfielder. He did pretty well. 257, 319, and a 447 in 284 at-bats, 14 home runs, 50 RBIs. He did score 47 runs, and that was his best year of pro ball, period. So that's always an interesting thing when you do get to the highest level and you put up your best numbers. To me, that's an interesting thing. I don't know if
see more strikes.
Maybe.
See more strikes.
Yeah,
it's a big part of it, dude. It really is.
I would agree with you 100%. Because everybody throws 100, but the guys with... Sometimes people are a little jumpy, and if you can't control that fastball and you're throwing it out of the zone a lot, you might get some free strikes just because people are trying to cheat it. So, I agree. So yeah, he's somebody to look into. Again, he's 26 years old. It's really hard to invest in a 26-year-old guy, but he played his best baseball last year. Period. I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun. Card number 140, Yvonne Castillo for the Padres. 26 years old. Looks like a utility guy. He had 3 at-bats in the big leagues, but he had a really solid AAA season for 400 at-bats, 287, 326 on base. I don't even know why the next guy's even in the set. Zach Short for the Detroit Tigers. I don't even know how this guy's a big leaguer, let alone in this product. 156 at-bats, it's just bad. I don't even want to tell you because it's that bad. It's almost like you should censor it if you were going to put it on like cable TV. You would just beep out the whole stat line because it's pretty trash. Poor Zach Short. 158 is Riley Adams for the Washington Nationals. He is their second catcher on the checklist, 25-year-old kid. Only 99 at-bats, nothing special, but I put better than their other catcher. That's what I wrote down. So I like him more than Jackson Reitz, if that makes you confident in your Nationals. Card number 160, Anthony Bender for the Fish. And by Fish, I mean the Miami Marlins. 27-year-old reliever. He had great numbers. Really, really great numbers. 3.5 to 1 in the strikeout to walk ratio. A 1.06 whip, which is amazing. 3-2 with a 2.79 ERA. And he's 27 and he's a reliever. So for all the good he did, everything else is working against him in terms of hobby value. So we just wish him well. In the rest
Even
of
if you're a great reliever, you're not worth anything, right? It's Josh Hader.
What's a Billy Wagner sell for?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Case closed.
Oh, this is great.
Mariano Rivera is the only closer that sells for any money. I don't know if there's anyone else.
Just the old guys, I guess, like Bruce Sutter and Lee Smith and stuff.
Yeah, but what is Lee Smith don't sell for much, and he doesn't even have a ton of stuff.
Right. I mean, like a PSA 10. I don't know. It's
I don't know.
crap, dude.
I'll bet a PSA 10 Lee Smith rookie card sells all right. Yeah.
I'm sure that
it sells all right, but
what else?
And that's the thing. It's like those guys. Luckily, you have the scarcity of a PSA 10, whereas these guys, if somebody really wanted to, they can send a bunch of that crap. Oh man. Go on. Tell us about these other great rookies we got to look forward
card
to.
Number 163, Arizona Diamondbacks, with all 5 of their wins coming into a strong 2022 campaign. They're bringing Stuart Fairchild into the mix, a 25-year-old outfielder with 15 at-bats last season. He seemed to hit for average in the minors, and he could steal a couple bases. 166, New York Mets, 28-year-old rookie catcher, Patrick Mazeka. All I wrote was congrats to him for making it to the big leagues. Look elsewhere for rookies. That's all I got.
Good job, dude.
I mean, good for him. No one right here made it to the big leagues. So how am I going to sit here and shit talk him? But
there's going to be a market for his cards. He's going to be buying them.
I don't even think he's going to buy them. He probably doesn't make enough money to buy them.
Woo. I'd sit the bench for that league minimum, baby.
Oh, hell yeah. Brozotti, I got another one of your Pirates, bro. 184. Card number 184. Hoy Park. What can you tell us?
Hoy Park, statistically the best hitter in all of AAA last year. Fun fact. 327, 475, 567.
Tell us what he did in the big leagues.
Problem though, it didn't translate. It didn't translate very well. So yeah, we'll see. He will be competing with our old friend from 2019 update, Michael Chavis, for the Pirates starting second base job.
He does look like a utility guy. Looks like he can play pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
So you always want a guy like that on your team, even if he's on your bench. So it's a useful tool if you can put a guy.
Has there been a good South Korean, like a good Korean baseball player in the majors? Has any of them?
What's the dude who played for the Rangers forever? And the
yeah. I know. Give me a second.
Shin-Soo Choo.
Yeah, Shin-Soo Choo. Probably the best one.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Okay.
He had a cannon for an arm too. He's still playing.
Lots of hobby value.
None. Absolutely none. But he's a hell of a ball player.
Yeah. Man.
Next person, very interesting one, because he was a somewhat appreciated prospect. Card number 186 for the Chicago White Sox, Jake Berger. He's 25, but if I remember correctly, he tore his Achilles, and he didn't play in 17, 18, he didn't play in 18, 19, or 20 because of COVID, rehabbing that injury, and then he got 38 at-bats. So he didn't play much minor league baseball at all, and here he is with the opportunity. I don't know if he will make the White Sox roster or if he'll go iron some things out or get some experience, but he's already 25. So he was, like I said, he was in prospect products and cards and all of that.
Yeah, he was in 17 Bowman. His cards used to sell for a decent amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was 11th overall pick. He hit when he was healthy all throughout the minors, and he hit in the majors. So I have a feeling that they'll at least try to get him some playing time. It's just a matter of like, where are you going to put him? Like, you're not going to move. Like, Moncada's your third baseman. I guess you could, throw him at DH or maybe throw him in a corner outfield spot every once in a while. But
it's like what they're doing with Andrew Vaughn, though, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's like the same type of guy.
Right.
Same type of guy they forced into the outfield just to get his bat in the lineup.
It's the White Sox. They'll trade anybody good.
The next card. The next card is
good trade candidate, though. Like, he would be a good trade candidate.
Sure, especially for a team that needed a bat, no doubt. Yeah. Like Jose Martinez got bounced around for a while because he had such a good bat. Terrible defense, but he could hit the ball. Red Sox guy, 187, Jarren Duran. 25 years old, had a lot of hype this year. 215, 241, 336, and 107 at bats. Negative 0.7 on the WAR. And as my note says, he wasn't exactly killing it in AAA. He did well below that, but I'm not understanding it. He's 25. If you don't have it relatively put together by that age, I'm not really interested. I mean, what's Juan Soto, 23 now? 22? That's the bar is so fucking high to come in and, like, especially in the hobby, because most of the hobby is folks, I would assume, that have been in the hobby less than 5 years. At least what you see on the internet and social media. And with that being said, if they see a guy like Juan Soto, who's still younger than these guys coming in, and the things he's done, the bar is so high. Acuna, Soto, Tatis, even with Tatis and his reluctance to get his shoulder squared away, he just must not want to ever go under the knife. But it seems like that dude needs to get his shoulder fixed, because he'll hit 15 home runs, take 2 weeks off, come back, hit another 10, go play the outfield, I guess. And I don't know. But the bar is extremely high. You got even guys like Luis Robert, 2020 rookie. He's like older than those other guys we talked about. You got Vladdy Jr., who's super young.
Devers
is also pretty young still. He just sucks at defense, but when you hit the way he does, it really doesn't matter a whole lot. I mean, Ortiz got into the Hall of Fame. I mean, he deserved it. I'm not taking a shot at Ortiz, but all he did was hit. So if all you do is hit for an entire career, it's going to pan out in the end. The next guy I do want to talk about, Jim, and I really want to hear your opinion on this. 201 Angels, Reed Detmers. He was a top 10 draft choice in 2020. He barely pitched in the minor leagues, 14 minor league starts before he got up to the big leagues. He struggled a bit, but I do think he mixed in a quality start somewhere in there in his 5 pro starts. And the Angels need pitching. So what do you make of that, Jim?
So, I mean, when
he's a Louisville guy too, right?
He is. I saw him a lot in college.
Jim's a big Louisville guy, so
yeah,
there you go. Oh yeah.
No, saw him a lot in college. Very polished, and that's why didn't take him very long to get to the majors. Right. He was probably the most major league ready person in that draft, and he proved it. Dominating through the minors and getting to the. I mean, he was striking out 16 batters per 9 innings in Double-A. That's just insane.
Right.
Yeah, he's the best pitcher in this crop. And there's some decent ones that we've talked about, but I mean, the Angels need him to be good.
Right. Like I agree.
They need some solid pitchers. I don't think Detmers is going to be like your prototypical ace type guy, but I think he's got the makeup and the stuff to be a solid 2 to 3 starter for a long time. And he's young too. I mean, he debuted last year at 21.
Yeah, it's a fantastic move for it. Even if he's a 4th or 5th starter for the Angels, that's something that's now one less spot they have to worry about for 6 more years. They got him. He's their guy. They drafted him. They fast-tracked him to the big leagues. Like you said, he was extremely polished. He was ready to go. And he'll just have to adjust to the big league game, and I'm sure he will. So there's a lot to like there, too. They have another young pitcher. The Angels do, while we're on the Angels topic. What is his name? Anybody know the Angels rotation? I have a couple of his first Bowman autos because I liked what he was doing, and now I can't think of his name.
Well, they've got some guy named Shohei Ohtani. He pitches every once in a while.
Yeah, that's the problem. Once in a while. It's fantastic. I love the guy, though.
But like
Are
even
you talking Sandoval?
No, they have a pitcher. And as soon as you say his name, I'm going to...
Sandoval is a pitcher. Dylan Bundy.
Nope.
Jose Suarez.
Nope.
Well, so this past draft, they picked up Sam Bachman.
Yep.
So like another pretty ready pitcher.
Griffin Canning is who I'm thinking of.
Griffin Canning, he was in 2018 update, wasn't he? Or 2019 update.
I don't know. I really don't. I just know that he got to pitch some in 2020 and then in 2021.
Yeah, good stuff. I think he's
another guy that could be a 4 or 5. You know, they have a few guys. The Angels have always had that thing where they don't have a rotation, and then they signed Rendon to $1 bazillion for better or worse. You know, he didn't play last year. Did he play at all last year? No, Rendon
played a little bit. I
heard he's not a very nice human either. I heard he's kind of an asshole. So maybe he's just in it for himself. I don't know. But they let Andrelton Simmons go, who was a stalwart defense for him. And now you have Ohtani. Trout wasn't healthy last year. You have Rendon. You're starting to piece some pitchers together. So you have 3 huge offensive dominant players. Like they're bona fide 3 top 30 bats maybe when they're healthy. And then you're sprinkling guys like Brandon Marsh, who's on this list we'll get into, Joe Adele, whoever else they're going to piece together in there. And it's the Angels. I feel like the Angels are starting to put it together, but they need pitching.
Yep.
215, card 215. Everybody should know who this is. It's Wander Franco, ladies and gentlemen. It only took us an hour, 1 minute and 35 seconds to get into Wander Franco mania.
Wander mania, baby.
My notes, the entire product. That's what I wrote. 288, 347, 463, and 281 at bats. Top prospect, huge scouting report. The whole 9 yards. He's only 20 years old. They think his power is going to continue to develop. He could be a generational talent. The Rays have already signed him up to a bazillion years. The Rays ponied up to pay him. So even if the Rays don't want to pay him down the road, that's going to be a very tradable contract if he performs anywhere near what people think he should do. Tell us about Wander. Anybody want to add to the Wander mania?
Sell him if you get him.
I think.
Go ahead, Jim. No, Jim. Go ahead.
Nah, I mean when it comes to prospects, and that you got the 20-80 scale, they 80s don't get handed out to too many people, and He got it. Just a complete all-around, really good player. I think the way you can tell how someone's going to be like really, really good, like all these guys we've talked about so far, they're good here, they're good there, but then they show some inconsistency here. Like the best of the best are just good no matter what, and Wander has been good no matter what everywhere he's been.
And he's 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes without saying he's the type of player collectors have become accustomed to collecting, because we've had a good group of 5 to 10 of those types of players come into baseball in the last 4 or 5 years. So those are the ones you're looking for. He's clearly the guy. There's not a lot to say about him because we all saw him play all summer last year. He's the real deal. I mean, I don't think anybody's saying he's not the real deal. And if there are people saying he's not the real deal, you should probably not take baseball advice from those individuals. I'm not telling you what to do. I would never tell you what to do. We're not here to influence you. But I would just, reevaluate your situation if,
Don't get caught up on Twitter judging Mike Trout's swing.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mike Trout.
Don't be that guy. Holy cow. Card number 217, Eli Morgan, Cleveland Guardians, 25-year-old starter. He did get 18 starts in the big leagues last year. He just struggled. Had up an okay whip at 1.25, but the numbers weren't so great. 5-7. I didn't break it down any further than that. 227 is Zach Thompson for the Marlins, 28-year-old pitcher, split time between the pen and the rotation. Strikeouts were less than 1 an inning.
Pirates traded for him this offseason.
So what do you think about him? 28.
He's a 28-year-old pitcher. He's a.
Yeah.
If you can get something out of him, cool. No.
Any production.
Yeah.
Next one's very puzzling too. Some of these guys, when they get 3 and 4 at bats, it pisses me off that they get rookie cards because you just don't like. You're probably not even going to see him in the big leagues. Card number 231, Ronnie Dawson, Astros, 26-year-old. He's listed on Baseball Reference as a pinch hitter and a DH. He didn't even have a position next to his name. And so with that being said, he only had 5 at bats, and he has no real minor league success. So I don't understand. I don't understand him at all. I don't even want to talk about him. Card number 243. I wish him nothing but the best. I really do. But card number 243 is Angels outfielder Brandon Marsh. He did get 236 at bats last year. He doesn't have a lot of power right now. They say he might grow into some or develop some, but he does have some good speed. He could play center field if Trout ever wants to. I think Trout plays center field until Trout doesn't want to. If he ever doesn't want to, I don't. I'm not for organizations pushing players in any sport out of what they do. It's Mike Trout, so if he does, if he wants to go move to a corner, then Brandon Marsh looks like he's got some speed. Other than that, I don't know. But he is likable, 24. He doesn't have a ton of power, though, so that hurts him for the hobby. People don't buy cards based on stolen bases. More home runs get hit by a landslide than people steal bases in the big leagues on a yearly basis. If you took up all the home runs from 2021 and compared them to all the stolen bases, it would be like 10-1, I bet. If not more. It seems like 10-1 wouldn't even be unreasonable. It's probably bigger than you'd imagine. Stolen bases are not a thing. With the analytics in baseball, people don't like the idea of risking an out. I think Jim understands that more than I want to. Steal all the bases. Make them make a bad throw. But in the big leagues, people don't make bad throws all the time. So that whole putting pressure on the defense thing doesn't work so well when everybody is an elite baseball player at the big league level. 258 Dodgers. I don't know if we've talked about the Dodgers at all. Andre Jackson, 25-year-old reliever. It looked like he was used in like long relief, and then if you're used in long relief, the games probably aren't very meaningful. So I didn't really take a whole lot of stock into any of his stats. But he had no starts, and he had way more innings than appearances, so I just put 2 and 2 together. He might have been one of those guys after an opener because, openers are the worst thing to happen to baseball. Jim probably doesn't agree. I don't like it. Opener. Let's pitch 1 inning. Now the guy only has to pitch 8 innings. We're not even going to let him do that because he's going to throw 100 pitches in 5 innings, and now we got to shut him down for 6 days because he's an investment for the organization.
Best hair in this rookie class. Best hair by far. Andre Jackson. Yeah. You should buy his cards just for that.
All right, Look at that. We have a selling point, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. Yeah.
Hair is the selling point. I love it. Trey Ambergy. Card number 263, New York Yankees, 27-year-old right fielder, got 4 at bats, and my overall assessment was he looks like a career AAA player. So,
I hope you pull a lot of those just so you got to read his name.
Yeah. Jackson Kowar, card number 264 for the Royals. We spoke about him a little bit earlier. He was a first rounder in 2018. I think he might have been a compensatory pick or a competitive balance pick. He was like 33rd overall, if I'm not mistaken. He's 24. He had 8 starts this year, went 0-6 with an 11.27 ERA, a 2.077 whip in 30 innings. So he didn't even average 4 innings to start. I mean, it's just not good. I don't know how you can continue to send that guy out there. I don't know how long of a leash he gets being a first-round guy, but it seems like if they believe in his stuff, then he's got to figure something else out. And if he's got to figure something else out, maybe his stuff's not there. I have no idea. I did not see any of those 8 starts, I don't think. But for being a first-round guy, to do that is the definition of shit in the bed. I don't care what metric you look at. It's not good. Not good. Here's an interesting guy. I'm not saying he's going to be any good. Card number 277, Cal Raleigh for the Seattle Mariners, 24-year-old catcher. He's hit the minor league pitching well, but he was awful in 140 at-bats last year. Hit 180, on base at 223. Not very good, but I don't know anything about his defensive abilities. Catchers don't get a ton of hobby value, but he did hit the minor league pitching really well, so maybe he'll do something. But I don't know. Another interesting guy. Astros, card number 295, Jake Myers, 25-year-old center fielder. 260, 323 with a 428 slugging and 146 at-bats, 1.2 on the WAR. And like I said earlier in the show, he was crushing AAA pitching. He was hitting 343. I assume he forced his way up with this bat. I don't know the particulars on how he made the roster and or why, but he did okay in the big leagues. Definitely above average by any standard you measure, and he crushed it in AAA, and that was his best year of baseball last year too. So, interesting guy. What do you think, Jim?
Did tear his labrum, so had labrum surgery this offseason. So won't be healthy to start the year. But yeah, I mean, crushed the ball in AAA, hit the ball pretty well when he got called up.
So we have somebody to talk about besides Brujan, Duran, and Wander, and you're going to sit here on the podcast and tell me this dude's labia tore, and we're not going to see him until the summer, at earliest, I assume.
Yeah, basically.
Labrums are...
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. I didn't know. Clearly, I didn't know. For those of you who don't know, like Tommy John has turned into not a big deal in the medical world. Tommy John, your ulnar collateral ligament, that used to be a big deal. If you tore that, it was not good. Science and technology has advanced. Now, the labrum is the really scary thing, but it's still a lot more fixable than it is now. The labrum is like the new bad thing. So hopefully he comes back from that, but that's generally pitcher injury, or more generally a pitcher injury. How did he tear his labrum? Do you have any idea, Jim?
No idea.
That's crazy to see an outfielder with that pop up. So hopefully he gets it figured out, and hopefully it's not on his throwing arm. And then it'd be even less of a situation, but I would assume it's his throwing arm. Card number 298. For our wonderful Arizona Diamondbacks, 26-year-old rookie, second base. This is why the Diamondbacks won 5 games last year. That's what I wrote down. Second rounder in 2017, was doing well in AAA, but he was awful in 69 at-bats. Jim, what he's shaking his head.
Killing me. He's my dude. Drew Ellis is my dude.
He's moaning.
No, he's from Louisville too, so.
Oh, okay. He was a prospect, like, no doubt about it. And I said he's doing well, but just awful for the Diamondbacks are so bad. You can't even. I don't think you can hold any of that against anybody. It's so bad.
So Ellis runs into that issue where like the age is going to be a problem. I mean, he's hit every stop that he's been at except his 1 month in the majors. So.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. Again, age though, he's 26.
Yeah, there's only 3 more guys. None of them are real crazy. I do have one more highlighted. 308, Sammy Long for the Giants. He's a 26-year-old pitcher. Had some starts, and a lot of relief appearances. Pretty bad numbers across the board, but he succeeded in all levels of the minor leagues. Philadelphia Phillies, card number 316, Matt Vierling, 25-year-old outfielder / first baseman. Did really well in a really small sample size. 71 at-bat sample size. He did fantastic. Better than what he was doing in the minor leagues, but like I said, anybody can hit well for a week or two. So Matt if Matt builds on that, that'd be really nice. But with how bad the checklist is in general, he's somebody to look at for the Phillies until proven otherwise. But I guarantee you he's not going to come in with a ton of hype, and he could be a sleeper guy. So if you wanna try, take a shot on a Series 1 guy, that could be a guy to look into. You have to do your own research, of course. Don't take what I'm saying as what you need to do.
What'd you say? He's going to hit 50 home runs?
50. What's Alonso's record?
Future Hall of Famer, actually, I think is what I heard.
Yeah, I think they already started on his plaque.
Yeah.
They just don't know what logo is going to be on it yet. So you got to stay tuned for that. You got plenty of time to buy his cards, though. And the last rookie is Brozati's favorite player on the entire set. Card number 325, Max Kranick, 24-year-old starting pitcher. He did get 9 starts last year. Jim, what'd you see?
So you want to have a funny Max Kranick story, actually. So
I like it. Here we go.
I tweeted out once on Twitter something about like the Pirates are so shitty. We've got pitchers like Max Kranick starting games right now, and Max Kranick liked my tweet. So, I think he was like saving it for later, or maybe for motivation or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
Well, who was the one guy that you were always dogging, and then he hit 2 home runs against the Cubs?
Anthony Alford.
Yeah, Anthony Alford.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. For those of you who aren't on Twitter, Brozati's pretty hip in the Pirates Twitter community. So there's that. However big that community is. I'm not saying it's
that day that Alford hit the home runs, actually at Pirates, like tweeted at me and was like,
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they were like, are you busy deleting tweets?
Yes, that's exactly what it was, dude. The Pirates were keeping receipts on your ass. They wanted to know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. That's it for 2022 Series 1. It's not great. And we're at the hour and 17 mark.
And no Cubs rookies in there, huh?
No, they didn't even get Schwindel in there. I mean, come on. But I don't think.
Unbelievable.
Did the Cubs have anybody to?
I quit watching after the All-Star break, so
yeah. I wanted to go to the Cubs Rockies on my birthday, and after they did that, I was at the final homestand. It was a Friday. I know it was the last game we went to, and actually I was there with Chris Bailey, who was he's a customer of ours from Florida. He was up here with his kids and his girlfriend. He said he was going to the game. I'm like, man, I told the wife, I said, hey, Cubs are going on the road. This is the last homestand before the trade deadline. You want to go to the game? So we got tickets real close to him, went to the game. We found, as we're there, all the official merchandise people were selling Chris Bryant jerseys for half off. So tell us you're trading a guy without tell us you're trading a guy. And somebody bought like 50 of them and gave them to everybody in like the 3 rows surrounding where the Ricketts sit by the home dugout. So everybody you can see, I have a picture of it somewhere. It was nothing but Chris Bryant white pinstripe jerseys around the entire Ricketts people. And it was really cool. And then we had the game, and that was it. Everybody was gone, and damn, I saw it. I'm not a big fan. They got, Ricketts came in. He brought Theo in. They got us a World Series. I don't know. The players won the World Series, so I don't feel like the owners did anything. I mean, they do their job, but they've also turned it into a fucking circus. Wrigley Field is turning into this fucking disaster of an industrial wannabe business ass area. They're taking all the statues. They shipped them down to Arizona or something. They're putting the fucking sports book that connects to the state. They got the hotel. All this bullshit. There's a fucking ballpark in a neighborhood without all of that bullshit, and that's what made it special. And now you're bringing all the bullshit right to the ballpark, and you're losing the neighborhood. So I don't like it. If you're going to do all that, buy the fucking neighborhood first. Tear the whole thing down and give us a parking lot. Like, could we do that? Or no, just put a sports book in a fucking restaurant that nobody cares to go. I don't like it. Just big
Just buy your
screens
tickets and go to the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But
yeah, that's what you're gonna do.
He's still gonna do it.
You think Ricketts is an idiot? He knows exactly what he's doing.
fucking put the Cubs. I'm only a Cubs fan because they were on WGN when I was a kid. So they were approachable baseball that you could watch when you were a poor kid with the bunny rabbit dudes on you. Same thing with Notre Dame. I'm not Catholic, but they were the only football I got to watch. And now they get the Marquee Network. And we got Hulu Live because it was going to be on there, and now it's not on there. So now I just said fuck it and got a VPN, and I watch my games anyway. And I said
They
it.
just announced that they're gonna to $18 a month.
They want to have their own network. Jim, you hear about that? The Cubs
It's
want to
fucking
launch
crazy. How
their
could you
own
charge that much?
streaming service for $18 a month.
It's too much.
It's more than MLB TV costs for the entire year.
Yeah, it'll have to be like $10.
And you can watch the Cubs on MLB TV, and all you need to do is either not be in a blackout area or use a VPN. The only thing you cannot watch is the nationally televised games.
Yeah.
So it's disgusting how money. I hate money. I know you need it and you gotta have it, but like everyone else here, I spend all day chasing money so that my family is secure. But I fucking hate money. If I had so much money I didn't have to think about money, I might like money some more. But until then, it's like how many dollars do I gotta have today?
When's that underground case break streaming channel coming?
I don't know. But
it's one of those catch-22s, right? Because how many South Bend Cubs games do you go to?
None, because they're an hour away.
Wrigley's an hour away.
Yeah, but Wrigley's fucking the best ball players in the world.
Right. So they provide
and I go
strategically.
I go strategically.
Product that you're willing to pay for.
No, a lot of the times I go to see other talent from the other teams too. Like I go to watch the Cubs, but I pick the games where maybe I don't even think the Cubs are necessarily going to win. I just want to see the other talent. Like I'll go see, like I went and saw the Padres this year. I went and saw the Braves on Sunday Night Baseball because of the pitching matchup. You know, I pick. That's what I go to. Like when I go to the White Sox games, I go to see the opposing American League team. I would never go to the White Sox game to watch the White Sox, but that's the benefit of having two big league clubs in the city by you. You get to see every team you want more than just maybe once every couple years. So, but yeah, the product, blah, blah, blah. Finish your South Bend Cubs terrible reference. Go ahead, finish that up real quick.
I'm just saying, you know, the tickets are cheaper.
The hot dogs are more stale.
There are reasons that you go to Major League Baseball. And the owners are well aware of why we go to Major League Baseball games. So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's easy to hate either side. It really is. It's easy to hate. The owners are always easy to hate, right? It's always easy to hate the owners. It's always easy to hate the players. But, you know, it's business. It's business, and they're both going to try to do things that are in their best interest. So, I understand. It's just a pain in the ass that, you know, now we have to question whether baseball's going to start on time. What a pain in the dick.
It sucks. You want some positive news? You want to hear some news?
Yeah, news me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jason Barr just messaged me, so I'm reading that. I'm sorry. You guys news it up.
Speaking some huge money, ESPN article this week, a T206 Honus Wagner PSA genuine sold for $475,960, and it was half of the card. If you get on there, it was like literally ripped partially off. So $500,000 almost for a half a card. That was legit. Unbelievable. And then Golden auctioned off the 2020 Bowman Superfractor 101, Jason Dominguez, for $475,000.
It's insane. We talked about that on an episode, and I think I said 1 1/4, 115, 150, something like that. Wouldn't surprise me. You telling me almost $500,000? I'm very shocked.
It's
Someone's got
unbelievable.
humongous balls.
Yes.
Or just too much money. That's why I hate fucking money. So that guy's throwing out 4 houses in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? On a card of a guy that's, he could have bought 4 people houses for their. I'm not saying he should do that, but just that's the type of money I talk about. And this guy's playing a whole
We're
nother
about
game.
to talk about NFTs, dude.
Oh yeah, I know. I gotta figure it out so I can buy $500,000 Dominguez cards. That's why Jim's really here.
So I had one more card.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had one more card that I saw that was pretty unique. I was surprised. It was a Tom Brady from 2021 Absolute. It was a kaboom. It was the 101 green. It was graded a PSA 8. Sold for $188,400. I mean, that's mind-boggling to me. Non-rookie kaboom, I get it, but PSA 8,
right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. And then my last news tonight, and then I'm going to get out of here. After Brad just bombarded me with bad news on this checklist and depressed me, going, maybe all the money I was going to spend opening, I'm going to go buy the golden ticket and go, because this last weekend, Topps hosted the 70th anniversary from the golden ticket from last year. And not only did they have one MLB star, Don Mattingly, they also had Vlad Jr. and Vlad Sr. there. And it was in New York City. It was at this place called Spin. So if you're a ping pong person, you understand what this place is. But that place I looked at the pictures, looked incredible. The gifts that these guys got were amazing. I mean, they had dual autographs of Vlad Sr., Donnie Ballgame autographs. The guy that posted pictures, he ended up getting a 101 70th anniversary stamp. Fernando Tatis 410 rookie from 2019. So speaking of a huge night there, but I just went back to last year at a blaster box to pull that golden ticket out of a blaster box is 1 in 407,000 packs. I couldn't find to see what that golden tickets were selling for on eBay, but I mean, I can't remember how long have they been doing the ticket. Do you guys remember? Like, I know they've done them, but I just don't know how long they've been doing this.
I don't know, but I know John Gehrig won one of those tickets from a Transcendent case, and he got to go to a real fancy event. I don't know. I think those, and you're putting me on the spot, and I really don't want to misspeak, but I want to say those tickets were north of 5,000.
Oh yeah, I think they're 8 to 10,000 is what I've seen.
I don't remember, but yeah, John got one in a break, not with me, but with another guy, and he actually hit the ticket in a break. So that's how he's like, I'm not selling it because I'll never get to do something like this or something like that. But
Trout was at one of those Transcendents, and that was, I think it was over 10 for one of those.
I think it was at Citi Field. I think it was at the Mets Stadium.
Cool.
And they got to go through the tour the clubhouse and go in the dugout. I talked to John a little bit about it, but this was last fall. I think it happened in the fall, right when the season ended, something like that. I think Jeter was there. There was some people there too. But yeah, it was part of the Transcendent thing, because I think each case of the Transcendent has one ticket for that event, but that's like a big chunk of what that case is that just that ticket. And they've been doing that for every Transcendent release. I don't know about the Bowman Transcendent, but it started off, it was just Topps Transcendent, and now it's evolved into the Bowman Transcendent, and then I think there's like a Hall of Fame Transcendent. There's too many. They've transcended too much. Same thing what they're doing with Sapphire. Everything's Sapphire now. I don't want to sit here and talk about the good old days, but geez, just because something's good doesn't mean you need to run it into the ground and make it lose the appeal. I mean, what now? Brozati, you're ripping a lot of Bowman Sapphire. For anybody who doesn't know, and I have no problem saying this, Derby City Breaks, Jim Rosati, check him out. I like the guy. That's why he's here. I don't know why I like the guy, but he's here.
I don't either. I don't know why either.
I don't know. Does it matter? But 2020 Bowman Giraffe Sapphire had autographs, correct?
No.
Okay, so there you go. I was confused and I didn't remember. And that's probably why I don't remember, because I probably saw that it had no autographs and ripped whatever I bought and was done with it. It's just so pricey for what it is. You get what, 2 parallels on a good day?
2 per box. Yep.
Yeah, and you got to get the right ones.
Yeah.
You got to get the right ones.
Yeah.
Right. I saw those pictures.
I love the sapphire.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I love it too. Yeah, I agree, but they just sapphire it to death. Everything's a sapphire now.
Brett, I saw those pictures of Vlad Sr. and Vlad Jr. Dude, Vlad Sr. is a beast still, dude.
Yeah.
He
didn't
towers
recognize
over
it at first.
Jr.
I had to do a double take and be like, is that really him? And it was.
Oof.
That would be an unbelievable experience to be able to go to that. Like I said, maybe I just need to save and buy the ticket.
Oh, look at this. I just got another delayed shipment, and this is for my damn shipping labels. Well, I love my email right now. FedEx, UPS, they're all just washed up. I saw they canceled school down in Arkansas because there was like one thing of ice on the road. I got a friend from up here that moved down there. He's like, I can't believe this. There's no snow on the ground or nothing. They shut school down. I don't know.
We didn't have so like last Wednesday, UPS usually picks up about 3 p.m. They picked up at 11 a.m. and they're just trying to get ahead of the storm. And then they didn't pick up Thursday or Friday. And like even today, like yesterday, UPS worked till 11 p.m. out here, and usually they're out of here, by 5 o'clock. And then today he said he was going to be out there till at least 9, but they've been doubling up the truck. So he fills up his truck, and then they come bring him another one.
What kills me, though, is like they get through the holiday season pretty well every year. I've never had any issues. I usually around the holidays, I get stuff later, like later in the evening, and I get it being that I don't have a storefront and I'm a residential delivery. But like, why now? Why now does it suck? Like, it's every year, and the same thing with the regular post office. They raise their rates during the like October for the holiday season, and then they're like, "You're gonna get them back," and they're like, just kidding. I think it went down like 2 cents, and then most places it actually went up. So, and then the service is worse than it's ever been. But that's just a society issue rather than a hobby.
I know
it's ridiculous.
I know that UPS does hire a lot of extra workers for seasonal.
Seasonal, I have an actual car that brings me my packages. I think I've had the same lady for 2 or 3 years.
So
She's
even
a
like
sweetheart.
even like during our the holiday season, our regular UPS truck comes with an extra person on it, just so that they can. But like right now, I would say that there's been so much shut down that they are getting in the Midwest. Primarily, there's a big slowdown right now. I've had some stuff like in Kansas and stuff that's really been too late up.
Better tell them to carry on, their wayward son. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna cry some more. That's all. Brett, anything else for us, brother?
That's all I got tonight, guys.
Hey, thanks for stopping in, man.
Who are you buying, Brett?
What's that?
Who are you buying?
I mean, Wander if you're selling them.
You're buying Wander, okay?
Pav will be selling.
I'm buying Wander. You get them, I'll buy them.
I would be selling Wander probably in April. As long as they start the season on time, I'd probably be selling. But I just even if he's really, really good, I think just the way the market fluctuates, you'll have an opportunity to buy again, sell again, and then I don't think anybody is going to be able to carry value like so high that you can't just keep doing the cyclic thing.
With base cards, I agree, probably. But I'm more trying to focus on parallels moving into the future. So if the print run scared the fuck out of me. We figured out for Chrome it was like 670,000 additional base cards per card in the set just to accommodate the 4 colors they added. I mean, that's a lot. And I don't even know what the number was before that. So however many cards they actually printed in 2020 for Topps Chrome, there's an additional almost 700,000 of each single rookie just in base form. And I don't know if 700,000 new collectors have come into the space. And that's just for one release. And every release increased production. So
I think that you have so much of like a hype game now, like across basically all markets. But you have so much of a hype game that with like these rookies and stuff, people will focus in on one rookie. So you have so much pull towards that one rookie that kind of prices out the variance from the print run. So I think you're going to have so much push for Wander Franco that it doesn't matter. You know, I don't think they're doing big enough print runs that it's really going to injure it too bad, because there's going to be so much hype that people aren't going to buy just one. They'll buy multiples because there's not another rookie for them to buy. So that's going to be the push. So I think that's kind of what you're seeing across. It's like earlier, like I mentioned, Devers. Devers is a good baseball player, like a really good baseball player, and his value long term could be pretty decent. But right now, you can buy a PSA 10 Devers for $35, and I mean he's an all-star level player. So I think, like, you look at the way that Acuna's numbers have come down in his values. I think really Juan Soto is the only play that you have that has enough hype behind it for 2018 to be playing that game right now. I think everybody else that you buy is more of a long-term move. I think Juan Soto is the only like buy and flip kind of guy. And I think with the way people are playing right now, that they're buying stuff for the flip. You're getting a lot less guys that are buying.
Mail day. Mail day.
Yeah. So I like, look, I think that's the buy. I think I like, even right now, his PSA 10s are still at a level where I think it's a good buy and a good flip. And I think it's tough because the way that all of the markets, so many markets are based on hype right now. It doesn't, like, you look at stock market where you can really look and say, okay, well, this company, you have public numbers and you can say this company makes this much money. It doesn't fucking matter. Nobody cares anymore how much money a company makes. It doesn't matter. It's so much hype behind like stock values and stuff. It's really hard to play the game. So I mean, it's pretty wild. So, but I think Wander is a good chase, but in my personal opinion, I think it's a good flip. I think eventually his stuff will come down and go back up and come down and go back up as long as he does what he's supposed to do.
I think it's going to be real interesting to see how they get priced in breaks. I don't even want to break this shit, be honest with you. I ripped probably 50 cases of Series 1 last year, and the Rays should be half the price of the case or more, and they won't be. And then it's going to be the first person that claims them will be happy, and 50 other people pissed. And then the case isn't going to sell because nobody wants the Washington Nationals with two washed-up rookie catchers. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I guess your saving grace with flagship stuff is, Juan Soto will still have monster hits, right? Acuna will still have monster hits. Trout will still have monster hits. Like, there's enough love to spread it out other than just the rookie chase, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I think there is. And I was actually going to ask you this. So someone even brought up to me with Series 1, do you almost, if you're doing a pick your team, do you almost have a Rays spot and then a separate Wander spot?
See, that's where breaking becomes too much of a fucking gimmick to me.
Right.
I mean, I totally understand the logic behind that, but when I hate seeing stupid shit like that, or like the Rays in box 1, Rays in box 2, Rays in box 3. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's 30 teams. You sell 30 teams for however big the size of your break is, and you have to price it accordingly. And if people don't want to play and pony up, people had no problem paying $600 for the Rangers in 2020 Bowman Chrome with Luis Angel Acuna and Bayron Lora autographs. I couldn't. They were the first team I would sell every time at $600 a team. 2020 Topps Chrome, $600 for the Chicago White Sox. Sold every time. Every single time. Now, that was mid-pandemic, and that was very close to the peak of the hobby. But absolutely no problem. Based on what I'm looking at here, the absolute infrequency that you're going to find a Soto, Acuna, a Mike Trout hit, which is a real autograph, because the commemorative bullshit they put in flagship should not be considered hits. I mean, of course, you're going to have them called a hit. They come in a jumbos. So a jumbo case only has 12 real hits. In a hobby case, you don't even know how many real hits you're getting because you get one hit per box, and it's not this or that. It's just so hard. I've been ripping flagship for 5 years. I've pulled 5 reverence cards between all releases. Those are some of the most beautiful baseball cards ever made, and they do get snuck into flagship. So anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, do yourself a favor. Just go to eBay and search Topps Reverence, 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 and they're absolutely beautiful cards. They're patch autos, and they have some of the best players in baseball, but those types of hits are so rare. I'm not even a gigantic breaker, and I've probably ripped 300 or 400 cases of flagship in my day, and I've pulled 5 of those cards total. So I mean, it's just not something you can hang your hat on. It's not even something I would think about when I factored in pricing. It's just tough. The Rays are gonna be a lot of money.
They are, but I guess like if the Angels are still gonna scoop up some of that.
Sure, I mean, yeah, the Angels are still gonna be $70 a case or something.
So you'll have the Angels there as the clear probably number 2 team, and like as long as like Angels and flagship, like I'll take them all day. I mean, Mike Trout rainbow foils,
parallels, sure,
and silver
agree.
Packs and parallels, like they sell really well. Like it's $20 for a Mike Trout rainbow foil. So there's still value to be had, and especially if you're I feel like Series 1 and Series 2, like they're more for just like the collectors anyways. Like you want to chase those big SPs and the parallels for Verwander, but like at the end of the day, I'm gonna get the Pirates just because I want all the Pirates Series 1 cards, right?
Yep.
And you're gonna have people like that.
Yeah, we shipped I know this for a fact. Outside, we did a couple of 5 case breaks for Series 1 last year. Outside of those breaks, we shipped all cards in every other jumbo case that we ripped, and that's a ton of cards. Like Laura, I was helping sort, and we couldn't. So here's the problem. Here's the problem from a breaker standpoint, and this is what people don't want to hear, because if you spend the money for a team, you should get all the cards, and that's I do agree with that to a point. But owning a business and being behind the scenes, my argument against that is the extra time it takes. So if you want to break with a professional operation, here's the thing. Professional operation is overhead. If I'm the breaker and I'm breaking, I can't do it all. I learned that the hard way. I can't do it all, so I need help. But if the help can only do 2 cases of cards because it's 8,000 cards, 2 cases a day, then you're stuck. Absolutely stuck. Because hiring another person to come sort, pack, and ship doesn't make you, like, you're losing money. Like, it doesn't make sense, because you would have to put the prices at such ridiculous levels to cover that extra expense so that you could do more for the people and get them their cards in a timely fashion. It's just so many cards. Like, we could barely keep up. But we were doing it. Like, I only need to do 2 breaks a day to sustain what I have. And those jumbo flagship cases push it to the very absolute limit of what you can do. I've broken it down numerous times. I mean, if I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we're just going to say that a jumbo case is 4,000 cards. It might be a little bit less. But if it takes 2 seconds to sort each card, that's 2,000 seconds. That's 33 hours. Or 33 minutes, rather. 2,000. Shit, I'm talking out of my ass here. I lost everybody.
Say if you can sort a jumbo case in 30 minutes, I feel like you're doing pretty good.
No,
honestly.
that's incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. So 2000. I've explained this so many times. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. So yeah, if you sort two, that's because I divided first. Sorry. I know exactly what I did wrong. So you have 4,000 cards. It takes 2 seconds to sort each card. That's 8,000 seconds. You divide that by 60. That's 133 minutes. So that's 2 hours to sort a case if you're really good. And that doesn't account for the fact that every standard sorting tray under the sun, you're going to fill up every single slot past its holding point. So now you're having to have more than just your area to sort. Now you need overflow, and then you have to combine that when it comes to shipping. That's just 2 hours just to sort it. Now think about how much harder, and Jim, you'll understand this, how much harder it is to package that properly. Now you're into, most people aren't even getting bubble mailers, you're getting boxes. You either have to fold the boxes together or tape them together, package it securely, make sure it's all good and right, weigh it. I mean, there's so much. Like, everybody thinks they're shipping experts because they sell one card on eBay 3 times a week, and they take 20 minutes to fucking put that package together and do it right with the cardboard and everything you're supposed to do. But no, when you're shipping breaks, if you do 2 cases, that's 60 packages you got to make that day. Sort, pack, weigh, get it out the door. It's got to go. So outside of those 5 case breaks, we shipped all cards, so we'll probably do the same thing, but I don't anticipate ripping nearly as much of this as we did last year. Last year, there was just so much speculation hype. There's so much top tier drafted talent and international talent. There's just a lot more talent in this year's.
That market was insane.
Yeah, you have
so much money in the market.
I think you have a much better clear-cut top dog this year, but that's it. That's where the buck stops.
I think after a certain point, it's going to be pretty tough to pick your teams, because at some point, all those people who did scoop up the Nationals, right? They're going to have their fill, right?
Yep.
So
it doesn't take much because how many cards, right?
Yeah. But then, like, with a random team break, you at least have the shot at the Rays, and you can probably price it out pretty decently, really.
And that's where you're going to see those gimmicks with
or you'll see
6 Rays spots in the break. Yeah. I mean, that's where
you'll see the Wander spot and the Rays spot. Yeah.
And I'm not knocking it, but that really defeats. Like, I don't see how that helps anybody fill a break if you segregate the Wander spot, because you might offset the cost of some of the other teams, but some of these other teams are going to deserve to be $0, but because they're going to get 200 cards because it's such a gigantic case, just the shipping alone on the team is going to be $6. Right. I mean, if you hit a pound of cards, you're $7 before materials, and that's only if you're shipping a block away. If you're shipping it across the country, the rates go through the roof. The post office has become a big hindrance to the business. I pay more in postage than I do in merchant fees, and that's that's just the postage. That's not the supplies and the time and the material and all of that shit. It's crazy looking at some of these numbers, getting into tax season and all of that. Trying to plan for the future, it gets crazy, man.
What do you think about the lack of ability to send Wander base to PSA? Just based on the cost.
It depends on what his PSA 10 is going to sell for before I can answer that question. Because I got a feeling it's going to sell for more than I think it should.
250 to start, at least?
No. I don't know. There's no way.
For a PSA 10?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, the first ones that hit the market might, like the first couple, will maybe bring that. But the other thing you have to think of, too, is, at least from what I'm hearing, PSA is going to open up their value submissions in May. So, you hold on to those Wander base for 2 months, and you'll have a $25 sub option with PSA here shortly. And then, any kind of parallels you can do with the economy, which is open now. But
I will see. We'll see. Brett, did you try to get an economy slot this time through?
I tried Tuesday, no luck. I'm gonna try again tomorrow.
Same.
It's if you're not within, I don't know the exact number, but if you're not in that
4,000.
2,500 range, you're not getting in. Because I was right at just over 3,000, and
This last time.
Yeah.
So I just got 16 cards accepted this week. So that was good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, but
Brett, here's a fun fact for you. I just got the first bulk CSG sub. All the grades came in. So we sent 58 cards, got 3 10s.
Ooh, dang. That sounds like my latest PSA order coming back.
But that's pristine. That's not gem mint. You know what I mean? That's not it's not PSA's 10. That would be 9.5. We got a ton of those. But we almost got, I think all 3 of the 10s we got were half a grade off of being perfect. Like, damn it. We'll do a big reveal when we get that stuff in.
I look forward to watching that. Those are nice looking slabs.
The slabs look great with the subgrades. Without it, they look terrible. The plastic itself is amazingly clear, though. By far, just the plastic itself, I love it. It's so clear. It's clean. But that's something you really have to look at in person. I don't think the pictures do it justice. I didn't realize how clean they were till I held one. But they're so tough. Nobody wants 9s. That's the problem. Nobody wants 9s. I sent some cards that I got 8s on. Like, oh boy. I got a couple of 8s coming to me personally. I did get 110. I sent 12 cards. And I did some 8s, a 10, some 9 5s, some 9s. I sent a lot of UFC stuff.
Which one did you get the 10 on?
An Alexander Rakic. He's a light heavyweight for the UFC. He's not great, but it was a green refractor. I sent a ton of green refractors and green slabs, green labels. Let's green it up. I sent 1, 2, 3. I sent a Bichette 2017 Bowman Chrome Mini and a Tatis Bowman Chrome Mini green refractor. Both of them got 8s. And I don't remember who I bought them from. So, bought them from somebody in a Facebook group. Got me some solid 8s on those, so that's great. Pretty pissed. I know I spent a ton of money on those 2 cards.
Minis are always tough, though.
Yeah. They got 7.5s on the centering. I don't understand. 8s, 8 overall, 7.5 on the centering, 9 on the corners, 9 on the edges. One got a 9.5 on the surface, and the other one got a 10 on the surface. So it was just the centering that killed him. Which, it's crazy. 3, 9, 9, 9.5, and a 7.5 makes your card an 8. I don't understand that. But that's why I don't like grading. I just know the game. That doesn't mean I like the game. I stand by that statement.
Yep. I'm out of here, boys.
Brett's out. Thanks, brother. Appreciate the news.
Good talking to you guys, and I look forward to listening to the rest on the NFTs later on tomorrow morning.
Anytime. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You guys take care of yourselves, all right?
See ya, Brett.
You too, buddy.
See ya.
Yep. All right, Brett's gone. Jim, it's time to tell us everything you know about the Candy MLB NFT platform.
Everything I know.
In 10 minutes or less. No, I'm just kidding.
So I guess I'll start off just by saying one thing, and I think it's just, the NFT world, I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and then there's some negativity in there too, like because you see these people spending $300,000 on pictures of monkeys, and people are like, "What in the world is this?" But I think the main thing to think of an NFT is it's a digital asset, right? I mean, it's just like if you were to get a blue parallel Bowman Chrome autograph that's numbered to 150, and if you have the 24 out of 150, you have the 24 out of 150. Well, the same thing with an NFT. If there's 150 copies made of it, and you have the 24th of it, right? That you own that 24th serial number of that, right? So I think that from a sports collectible standpoint, it just translates really, really well. And we've already talked about a few things about like the cardboard hobby that kind of annoys us sometimes, right? We already talked series 1, cardstock's awful. The centering, how many times have you opened up a box of cards and the whole thing, just the centering's off?
Yeah, or you've got to see the first pack and the whole box is wrecked.
You've got dinged corners. You've got someone signed a card and their autograph is smeared on it. So there's your BGS 10 auto. Now it's a BGS 9 and the slab looks like shit, right? None of that stuff exists as an NFT. When you open a pack of baseball NFTs from Candy Digital, there are no dinged corners. There are no surface issues. There are no it doesn't take up space. I don't know about you, Brad, but like I have just like stacks of baseball cards just laying everywhere in my house.
I've been so slow with breaks the last few weeks that I've actually started to clean that shit up. But no, I have so many stacks right here. I probably had 10. I filled 2 shoe boxes with the stacks of cards I had sitting in front of one of my monitors.
So like they're all the, and like I said, don't get me wrong, I love baseball cards. I have a lot of them. I love it. But like the things that are annoying about baseball cards are like immediately solved by sports NFTs. And that's, you don't have to worry about the condition. It doesn't take up any space. You have access to it everywhere you go. I mean, if you want to look at your collection, you can just pull it up on your phone. You don't have to go digging through cases or boxes to pull up a card that you want to see. Other things too, like you don't have to. You just mentioned it. These grading companies, that's the game, but like it's still stupid. Like
I agree.
Right? It's so dumb, right? Like we're sending our cards off to somebody so they can tell us if it's in good condition or not, right? So like it just takes out that whole part of the hobby that's just annoying and stupid, and it puts everything online. Like it's a digital collectible for you. It's your digital asset that you own. If you want to sell it, you can sell it. If you want to give it to somebody, you can give it to somebody. If you want to buy more, you can buy more. If you want to look at it, you can look at it, right? So everything, that's why I think the sports collectible NFT world, and like this isn't any like advice or anything to anybody, but it's a market, it's an industry that just like what we do now with sports cards just translates so well to the NFT space because of all those things we just mentioned. So yeah, that's kind of just my spiel as far as like what is a sports collectible NFT. Think of it like it's baseball cards, it's football cards, whatever you want to call it. But it's online and it's a digital asset that you own online.
So here's the not necessarily my biggest issue, but the biggest issue is that it's digital, so it's not tangible. You can't touch it. I understand that, but at the same time, I'm a big video game guy. Not nearly as much as I am. Mm-hmm. I used to be, obviously, just time and family and all of that. But I remember when video games started going digital. And me sitting here saying, I'll never fucking do it. I always want to own it. That way, if I want to sell it back or whatever for $2 at GameStop, I can do it. Mm-hmm. And then something happened mid PS4 cycle where I have not bought a physical game in 5 years now. Everything I buy is digital. I'm like, I don't give a shit if I ever sell it. So the positive side, which should make NFTs more approachable, is that you can sell it, just like you said. I do not have any candy experience yet, but I am still over on the Atomic Hub with Wax and the Series 1 NFTs that Topps launched over the summer. They abandoned the platform shortly after that, but there's still cards. I'm still trying to sell what I have left before. I wanted to sell it all before it moved to candy. before I moved to Candy, I didn't want to be in 10 places at once. I think that's a lot of issue with just crypto and blockchain in general, is there's so many different places. Every place you have to set up a new account. It's hard enough to get people on Facebook to go to a fucking website, Jim. You know what I mean? Like when I first, there was so much pushback against a website. Like, listen, friends, I'm not staying on Facebook forever. From a person who wants to grow and get bigger, for me to sit here and say that I'm going to absolutely pigeonhole myself to whoever is on Facebook, and not only that, in this stupid ass private group where I get to say this is my group, and nobody else is welcome here. It's so stupid. I hate it. So that, and people don't know how to fucking pay their bill. That has a lot to do with the website. You can't even buy a team unless you pay for it. So that's a shot at everybody who doesn't pay for their shit. But unfortunately, those are only maybe 5% of people, and those bad apples ruin it for everybody. Every Facebook breaker I know, or Twitter, anybody who has to anybody who has to chase down another grown human to make their payment knows what I'm saying. So I don't even feel bad about shaming those people. Pay what you fucking claimed and just make it easier for everybody. Then you won't have to go to a stupid website to buy your team, because I know a lot of people are leaning that way, especially with how broken Facebook is. Facebook is a fucked up platform. My business page is broken. I've stopped 100% of my Facebook ads, and my business numbers are better than ever as far as my website analytics. I could pay money to artificially inflate my Facebook numbers. I could go from a 10,000 a month engagement to 100,000 engagement, but no new business. So what's the point?
Right.
I literally at one point in time had people, I was doing giveaways. I'm like, listen, go leave an honest review on my business page. If you think I suck, put on there that I suck. I don't care. Just go leave reviews, because Facebook prompts you on the business page. It says, ask your customers to leave a review. Half of the people that tried to leave a review, when they clicked submit on the review, it posted it onto their own Facebook wall. I couldn't even do the giveaway because it wasn't even registering these ratings for the business page. Like, damn, tell me your shit's broken and not even fix it. Then when I found out that I couldn't even get a hold of a real human being to discuss these issues, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to spend $1,000 a month to advertise it here. Like, sorry.
Right.
Sorry, not doing it. So to get back to where we were anyway, the NFTs, Series 1, Topps was on Wax. They switched to wherever they went to. Did they go anywhere between Wax and Candy?
So Topps is their own separate thing. So Topps NFTs have their own ecosystem now. That's not like part of another wallet. It's technically on the Avalanche.
Yes, there you go.
But they have their own.
I did some Topps Now stuff
that they have built
in the postseason.
Yeah,
but Fanatics is Candy, right?
So Fanatics owns Candy Digital.
Yes.
Candy Digital has the Major League Baseball NFT license. And so when it comes to like the things that they can do, Topps can pretty much put their pictures of their baseball cards up there. Mm-hmm. Candy can do basically whatever they want when it comes to the NFT space and Major League Baseball. So their first release that they did, well, first off, let's kind of the first thing that they ever did going back to last year is they did like digital art pieces of stadiums. Like all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums have their own digital art, and it's on the Ethereum network. So you buy and sell it with Ethereum, and it's done really, really well. I think they were originally you bought them for $100, and you cannot buy one of those for $100 right now. Many of them are going for thousands of dollars if you convert the Ethereum. So
right.
So it's done really well. They've done some other like commemorative things on the Ethereum network, like they did a Lou Gehrig thing. They did a Dodgers World Series thing. So they kind of dabbled in that piece first, and then they just now started doing actual sets of players. So they came out with their first 2 sets. One was 81 players, and it was every single Major League All-Star. So there were 81 of them. So they made a set of that, and then they made a set of 30 where they picked one prospect from every single team, and they made a prospect set. So there's a total of 81 All-Stars, 30 prospects when it comes to like the players that you can collect right now. Coming up next year, there's a lot of things in the works. They haven't really announced anything yet, but I would imagine that they're going to do something similar to like a Series 1 type of thing where you'll start seeing more and more players that they're adding to this. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. Those drops for the pack drops for those sets it was a while ago. I think it was in October. We just now saw the launch of their their internal marketplace. So we were holding all these NFTs for a really long time. None of us had any idea what this stuff was worth, really, until just a few weeks ago.
Right.
And we've already seen some really big sales. So there was the one of one Shohei Ohtani sold for $100,000. Just absolutely insane. There's been a few other sales over $20,000. There was a jersey number Shohei Ohtani for $36,000. Fernando Tatis for $20,000. Few Mike Trouts all in like the $15,000 range. So it's kind of crazy what it's done. And this is just 3 weeks or so that we've been able to actually sell these things.
I have a candy account of some sort because I have been getting those emails when they were getting ready to launch the marketplace and things like that. I haven't got over there yet. I'm still the thing with all my Series 1 stuff, all my common cards have sold. Now I have to get rid of all these rare ass cards that I opened, and I still have 3 packs, and I'm waiting for the right time to sell those packs. It's like they're trending back up again.
So with the Topps NFT stuff, like when they abandoned Wax, it just kind of took a hit. It's still Series 1's still doing pretty well for Topps, but just when they pulled out of Wax, it just kind of left it sitting there by itself. And
for anyone who's on the fence about the whole money side of thing, I'm not going to ask you anything personal in terms of finance, but I will tell the people that even on this abandoned platform for the Series 1 NFT things, the premium packs for Series 1, they sold for $100. You had to buy them with a credit card. It wasn't with crypto or anything like that. They were $100 a pack. Mm-hmm. Right now, the cheapest available sealed pack to buy on this platform that is no longer really supported is $520. $521.27, which is 14.25 wax points. So it's still 5 times what it was, and these packs did touch somewhere around 1,000 at their peak.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where we're at with the Topps. If you're looking at the candy packs, packs sold for $50.
I wanted to ask you how fast they sold out. Yep. Okay.
Instantaneous. Sold out. And they were $50 a piece. They didn't make a ton of them. I think there were a total of around 19,000, 20,000 packs total that were sold. The cheapest of the All-Star packs that you can get right now, $1,389.
Yep.
So on a $50 pack, they're now almost $1,400 packs. And it's just, what's cool about this too is how we always speculate in the baseball card world. I wonder if the superfractor of this guy's been pulled. I wonder if the superfractor's been pulled.
Right.
With this, right? Because it's all online, it's tracked. And so the reason why these packs are still so high, we've gotten, I think 82% of the packs have been opened, but that one of one Trout is still out there in a pack. The one of one Tatis is still in a pack. And the one of one Vlad is still in a pack. So you've got some big one of one cards out there that haven't been pulled. And as long as there's some big collectibles out there that haven't been pulled, those packs are just going to keep going up.
So here's another question, and I don't know if you can answer this. And this is just me being curious. and untrustworthy of everything. Is there anything, whether they would tell us or not, that could verify what pack contained that card? Or like, do you think they could not actually have it in a pack, or like pick when it magically shows up out of a pack? Because it's digital and they know way more about computers than I do.
Yeah.
And I feel like it could be like, hey, let's not let the cat out of the bag. But at the same time, before we put the tinfoil hats on, you have to remember that all these packs have already been sold and now they're floating around on a secondary marketplace. So there would be no reason to think about manipulation, but it's just, something to talk about.
So in the NFT world, like when something is made, it is minted, right? So when these packs were minted, at that point in time, everything was randomly put into the packs at that point in time. So every pack has a serial number as well. So whenever you have serial numbered NFTs, you also have serial numbered packs. So whatever's in the serial number 858 pack is always in that 858 pack, right? And you can look and see every time a pack is opened. You can, because this is on the blockchain, like you can look at, okay, what was in this pack? You can actually physically see, okay, this pack had this, and this. Now you can't see what was in it until it's opened, obviously. But that's one thing that people do a lot is if they sell a pack, they'll sell a pack and then they'll like keep an eye and they'll be like, oh, I wonder what was in that pack that I sold. Yeah. So you can always actually go and see, okay, did I make a good decision on selling that or should I have held on to that?
Yeah, absolutely. The only reason I even said it was because I'm pretty sure, and I don't follow Top Shot too much, but NBA Top Shot botched a release recently.
They did.
And I don't know the specifics, but I know it was something about people getting too much rare stuff and the other people that were supposed to get it not getting it. And that was the only reason I even asked, because if they can't, how do you fuck up a digital release? Like that seems inexcusable, because that kills your consumer trust.
No, so the Top Shot thing happened this past week, and what was different was Top Shot always. This is the first time they ever did something like this. Top Shot, and if you're unaware, NBA Top Shot is just the NFT platform for the NBA.
Right.
Very wildly popular. It was really the first of all of these, right?
Yeah.
So super popular. They've been doing this for 3 years now. But the way that Top Shot's always operated is that they would sell a pack and it was a common pack, right? And you knew that everything was in there was a common NFT. They would then put a rare pack and you could buy a rare pack and that pack had a rare moment in it. And then they had legendary packs where that pack had a legendary pack in it. This was the first drop that NBA Top Shot ever did where it was all random, where like you had a chance of getting a legendary, you had a chance of getting a rare, but most likely you were probably going to, 75% chance it was going to be all commons, right? So this was the first time they did something like this. And yeah, I guess they just didn't test it enough.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what beta testing's for.
It is NBA Top Shot still technically in beta. Like all of these things are in beta. So whenever you are participating in one of these things, like we are all beta testing this stuff right now. But as far as Top Shot goes, yeah, that was the first time they tried something like that, and it didn't work very well. I will say, so Candy has been doing that. That's how Candy's been doing their drops this whole time, and it went very smooth the first time they did it.
That's how these wax packs are too over for Series 1. It says
now the one issue that Topps had is that they didn't mint them when they minted the packs. So like Topps really messed up on that Series 1 stuff. So like
it has like odds or percentages. Per the description, it says 59.4% common collectibles, 22.22% uncommon, 11.11 rare, 2.2 super rare, 0.56% epic, 4.44 epic exclusive, I think because it's a premium pack, and then to get a legendary is 0.4%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't tell you like anything other than that.
Right. The thing with Topps, the way they do it is their NFTs aren't minted until you actually open the pack. So a lot of people weren't fans of that because that actually makes our packs that we're holding, like there's no chance that there's like a serial number 1 in any of those packs because they just keep adding on as they get opened. So people weren't really too thrilled about that. So like the top Series 1 stuff, if you bought into it and you sold it like right away, you did really well. And I think it still has some long term because it's Series 1, it's top Series 1, like it's something, right?
Right.
So I think it still has some long term value, but right now it's still worth more than what you paid for it.
Yep.
But I think it still has some long term potential.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling everybody this. I'm selling what I have and I'm moving on. I don't want to have to set up 10 different places to even access. You know, it's not approachable unless you understand technology. I think it's the biggest hang up, especially for like older collectors, because a lot of your big money physical card spenders are middle-aged people who have disposable income, and maybe they're not the best with technology, or maybe they just don't trust it, you know. So
and that's kind of where Series 1 dropped the ball, because it is like its own separate thing. Like if you sell something, you get wax, and getting wax, you have to take the wax out, you have to move it to another crypto wallet, then you
I
have
had
to
to
move
make
that crypto wallet
two different accounts just to turn it into Bitcoin, just so I could actually turn it into American money,
to US dollars, right?
My bookkeepers told me that if I continued to do it, they would no longer keep my books, the company, because they didn't want anything to do with the nonsense. They're like, we'll handle it for this one time. And they said, if you do anything else, we want you to do it as personal financing. Like, don't do it as the business. Like,
So that's what's nice about Candy. Like, so Candy Digital is going to start accepting crypto payments, you know, at the beginning by the end of this quarter, they said. But if you don't want to mess with that, you can buy this stuff with your credit card. And if you want to sell something, you can sell something and then withdraw it in US dollars into your bank account. So
that's a lot more approachable.
That's what's nice about the Candy Digital marketplace, as opposed to the other stuff.
So you said they've only had a couple pack releases, and they don't have anything planned until the season starts, or
so they've been kind of secretive on what they're working on. They are working on some stuff. They have already told us that they were like, stay tuned, there's a lot coming for this coming season. They just now, so they don't just do baseball either. So, you know, with college and nil money, they actually do college athlete NFTs. So like in March, when March Madness starts, they're doing some college basketball NFTs. So there's like 5 or 6 guys that they got, some really top draft prospects, and they're gonna release college basketball NFTs of those people during March Madness. They just got to deal with all the NASCAR racers, so they are now the official NFT of, you know, all this NASCAR stuff. So they're doing something for the Daytona 500 next week when it comes to that. So they're like dabbling in, so like whatever it is that you like, whether it be baseball, college sports, NASCAR, they've got all of that right now. Obviously, we're big baseball guys, and it seems like they're going to be the main players when it comes to baseball NFTs.
The next pretty stupid question, or common, it's, I guess no question's a dumb question until it is.
Right.
Is what keeps me from taking a screenshot of your NFT? You know what I mean? That's
absolutely
stupid.
Nothing.
Like,
I mean, you can
if I take
the
screenshot of the NFT, is it exactly like the NFT you own, or like are they animated, or are they just, you know what I mean? Like,
they're animated. I mean, so there's videos, but I mean, if you want to save the video, you can go ahead and do that, but you're not going to be able to sell an animated video to somebody. Like it's not the actual thing. Think of it like, you know, if what's stopping somebody from taking a screenshot of a card that you post and
I've had that happen.
Right. So that's the thing. It's the same thing. Like it just means it's fake. Like someone can do it if they want, but it just doesn't. It's not real. Like
I pulled a Alvarez Superfractor from Stadium Club. I pulled his Chrome Rookie Superfractor, which was a pretty big deal at the time in mid 2020, and I posted the pictures on my business page like I always do, and then like that weekend. Somebody tagged me in somebody else's business page with like 10 of my cards. Had like a 101 Ichiro I pulled. like damn, dude.
Yeah.
You could at least like give me some credit for the shots, man. He's I was just showcasing your hits, dude. I'm like, you didn't even put my fucking name anywhere on. You weren't showcasing shit, you asshole.
That's funny. I mean, it's just like, anybody can own a reprint of a 2011 Topps Update Mike Trout. Doesn't mean you have a 2011 Topps Update Mike Trout.
Yeah, but you don't really have an NFT either. It's just on the internet. That's I want to like it, and I know the money. Like trust me, I made out like a bandit on this series. Like it's just I don't know.
Thing too that we haven't gotten into. But
I also don't live in a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City where I don't have room for a shoebox of baseball cards either. So I get the big time city living stuff too.
The other thing that we haven't even touched on is just like the amount of like real life utility that can come with this stuff, right? So we're just talking about like collectibles, right? But kind of think like an NFT is just it's a digital asset, right? So like what could be the future of this stuff? And so let's say Wander Franco's making his major league debut, right? Wander Franco's making his major league debut, and tickets are now NFTs. Like if you actually buy an NFT ticket, right? And so that NFT belongs to you. You show up to the game, you show the NFT. Okay, here you go. You can go to your seat now. And then let's say at the end of that game, that NFT automatically like transforms into a Wander Franco highlight video of the game that you just went to, right?
That would actually be real cool.
So these are the kind of things that like we're all kind of thinking of, like what's down the road, like because the partnerships with Major League Baseball and like this is all hand in hand with Major League Baseball. So like another thing too, like if you go to a Major League Baseball game and you're sitting in the left field bleachers at Wrigley Field, someone hits a walk-off home run. You know, everybody in that section gets an NFT of that walk-off home run. Like that's the kind of stuff that you can do with NFTs that like translate to real life that you can't do with like anything else.
Sure. That's really cool. And I actually like that thought because basically all sporting event concert tickets, everything's gone digital. All the Cubs tickets, is the MLB Ballpark app. It was the same app for going to any other game. I went to the Home Run Derby in Denver. Same thing. Is all in the same app. But I went to see Elton John this past weekend. I bought the tickets. It's at the United Center. I bought the tickets from a website I never bought them from, but they were electronic tickets. I wasn't worried about it. Ended up going on the Ticketmaster app. I got to the United Center. And you could not screenshot those tickets. The barcode actually moved. Like there's a red thing that went across the barcode. It said a screenshot won't be any good. I tried just for shits and giggles. It wouldn't even let me. Like it was a banking app.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I know these are good. It said it's verified. It's all through Ticketmaster. I get to the United Center, scanned my phone, and got rejected. I about had a fucking heart attack in the United Center with these fucking $350 fucking concert tickets. And I'm
probably
like trying to stay calm with this lady. I said, ma'am, I don't know how this could be possible. She goes, me either. But they're not like, she wasn't even like trying to be nice about it. It's so cold. I'm like, what can I do here? I'm like, this is ticket. I like showed her. I'm like, this is Ticketmaster. These are the tickets. Like every time it's scanned and rejected. Some lady comes over and goes, oh, just log back out and log back in. Did it. Boom. Good to go. Like, what? How did you know to do that? It was like something with the transfer of the ticket, I assume. Yeah. But I'm like, holy fuck.
That's how all of my Louisville football and basketball tickets were this year, where it's like that.
Yeah.
That red line
I'm like, that is super cool because that's pretty like fraudulent proof. Like I would assume that you're not going to buy a bullshit ticket. What'd you say, Mike?
You thought it was super cool till you got there and they had to scan. fucking thing.
Yeah, and oh my god, I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, I'm out $1,000. I'm like, oh my god, what is happening right now? Oh no, yeah, it was the potential for that though. Like that, like that's Elton John's farewell tour, and I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the biggest fan or any of that, but it was an opportunity that you're never gonna get to do again. So I took advantage of that opportunity. That's why I like to spend my money on. I don't own a lot of shit. If you ever watch a podcast, I wear my own shit, clothes. I got the same Tops hat. You know, I mean, like, but like they could do something with that ticket stuff.
Right. Yeah,
exactly.
Like, imagine like 2 years in the future where this is more mainstream, and right after that concert, that ticket transforms into like the encore presentation that you just watched.
Right.
You know, like how cool would that be? Right.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
And on top of that, like sports kind of lends its hands into other things because like things happen daily. They happen in real life. One thing that NBA Top Shot has just killed this year is like daily challenges that involve their NFTs. So like Top Shot does these things where, okay, in tonight's slate of games, if you have the leading scorer in every game, you win something. And that could be either a free pack, it could be a free NFT, but whatever it is, like you win something. And so it's got like a fantasy sports aspect to it as well.
Sure.
So it's just something that there's so much you can do with it, and like we're just at the very beginning of stuff, and it's kind of crazy, like all the things you can kind of just let your mind wander to be like, what could this become down the road?
And they have all those whatever those stupid monkey NFTs are. They have those, and I've seen stuff on Twitter with those where, and I don't know if it's been implemented yet or not, but basically to the point where they're like, if you own this one, it'll allow you access to this event or this you know what I mean? Like they're it seems like they're doing something to like maybe incentivize, you know, having some ownership in some of these things, like being a rewards member for a credit card, essentially, something like that. Like, hey, if you own this, you know, we'll do this for you.
I mean, my guess, honestly, is like if you're a business, and you already see it now, like big companies are already doing NFTs. Disney, Coca-Cola, Nike, Adidas, like all these places are already doing it. So like if you're a big company and you don't have like an NFT strategy in the next couple of years, like you're gonna be left behind.
What kind of profit margin do you think these companies are bringing in on the NFTs?
That's a good question. I mean, you got to imagine like what is the license cost, right? So like what is Candy Digital paying Major League Baseball and the Players Association for the rights to do all of this? I don't really know. I can't imagine it's too much different from like what Topps is doing and, you know, other card companies. But yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. One thing that, you know, it kind of does too is everything's on its own ecosystem. So like they have this original drop where they're selling everything. But then if you want to buy and sell stuff, you do it in their marketplace, right? So it's just like eBay, right? eBay has eBay fees. You know, there's marketplace fees. So every time that there's a sale made, you know, the seller's paying 5%, and that's a service fee that Candy Digital is getting. So it's one of those things where like not only do they make money on the front end, but every time that collectible is sold, you know, they're also getting money. So I don't know. Good question. Not sure.
I had something I was gonna say too, and I totally forgot. But it seems like what they can do. Oh, I remember. Sorry, I have no short-term memory at all. I could tell you what I did on this date when I was 6 years old, but short-term's awful. It's like the natural evolution though of cards, and it gets back to the video game reference I made earlier. Like I said, I'm never going digital games. Here I am, digital everything. Electric cars, I have such a big personal pushback on electric cars, not because I hate the environment, but because the field I worked in previous to what I do now was energy production, and I know that your electric car still takes gas to get electricity. You just don't have the guilt of going to the pump for the gasoline, but you still have to burn that gas to get your electricity. So the point I'm trying to make is not an environmental one, but the fact that the Model T was like 1908. Here we are 100 years later, 114 years later from that, and now we're pretty well into electric cars are a feasible option. And when did we get the internet? You know what I mean? In the early 90s, where it was like available to everyone by the late 90s, and dial-up was terrible. And you could have never made an NFT with that. And here we are 25, 30 years now, and now we're doing this crazy digital shit with videos, and we're doing this, like we're having this podcast. Right. I mean, it just the society from a technological standpoint is just always going to the next thing. So it's not surprising that this is happening. It's not surprising to me at all, the money that's involved with it. It's going to take time for people to get on board with it. I don't think everybody will get on board with it, but I don't think that it's going away. I don't think physical stuff's going to go away either. No. Obviously, it'll change and adapt too.
Yeah, Fanatics didn't buy Tops for it to go away.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
but there's it's untapped potential in the digital space, and they're tapping the hell out of it. So good for them. Pav, do you have anything you wanna ask about any of this? Been kind of quiet over there.
I'm just taking it all in. I think
I agree
with the digital stuff. I think you're seeing like an early boom, whereas like I think stuff will get
new and shiny.
Me personally, sure. I think stuff will get watered down over time. I don't think that I'm not saying that that's like bad for value. I think when you talk about stuff being $1 and being able to sell it for $5, that's a really good investment. So I think that you will see those kinds of things get a little bit watered down, where you're not going to have these huge bumps in value. But as long as there's hype, as long as there's hype behind anything, then the big thing is going to be bringing in new money, to continue to bring in new money. So that's always going to be their biggest challenge for these kind of companies is, okay, how do we continue to bring in new money? Because once you have your group of people and they got all their money in, then it just moves around. You got to continually try to bring in new money. So it'll be pretty interesting to see how they do that, because you, like with the packs, and I've been on the candy thing. It's pretty tough to get a pack of cards.
Oh, and like it was very limited the first time around. Yeah, it was hard. Yep.
So I think with you could eventually have like some higher end packs and lower end packs where they kind of do something like that. I think it would actually, because they're going to have to bring people that can't pay that money, that don't have. You're going to have a $10 pack versus having $100 pack. I think that's going to be a good way for them to keep continually bringing in new money. And especially like if the big thing that people always say, oh, this is a kid's hobby. With stuff like that, it's going to be interesting to see how it translates, because the kids, the younger generation is who's really pushing the NFTs really hard. So I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how they play it out. Now, Fanatics is a very well-run company. So I believe that, like with Tops, with the NFTs, all that stuff, I mean, there's not a lot of better companies that you want kind of heading that stuff up.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I think you mentioned kind of watering it down, right? And you almost have to water it down, right? Like right now, the most common thing that you can get on the candy marketplace there's 420 of them or something like that. Like there's not a lot, right? Super low counts on this stuff. But I think you kind of can look at Top Shot as something that's been around for 3 years now and learn some things from them. I mean, the Top Shot user base is growing just exponentially all the time. And, it started off where, Series 1 for the first year wasn't a lot of stuff made. Series 2, they upped it up a little bit. Series 3, now every moment there's 60,000 of them, right? And you can buy them for $3. If you can go and buy them for $3 each, or you can buy a pack for $9 and it has 3 of them, right? So there's going to be things like that. I think Top Shot, like if you want to kind of like have an introduction to the space, Top Shot's a really good place to just dabble and just to get a feel for what it's like, because Top Shot's in year 3. Yeah, they just had a little bump this past week. But they've been doing it for 3 years now. It's a pretty awesome product. I spend a lot of time throughout my day on Top Shot because of the things that you can do with your Top Shot NFTs. So I would recommend, like, if you want to kind of start dabbling, even if you're not even a basketball fan, like, just check it out. It's a good place to start. Candy will be releasing a ton of stuff here for baseball coming up here soon. We just haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see what this year brings. But yeah, Top Shot, really good place to kind of like dabble and get your feet wet if you want to kind of check out the space a little bit.
Sounds good. Is there anything else you want to say about Candy or NFTs in general that you think people need to know?
I mean, I think it's just the biggest thing for me was, okay, like how can I compare this to what I already know, which are sports cards, right? And like why would I do this, right? And those were the big things I mentioned at the beginning. It's just like I love sports cards, but there are some hassles with it, right? Sure. And those hassles that you have get addressed in the NFT world. Like, you don't have to deal with those hassles. So it's just I still buy tons of sports cards, like lots of sports cards. But I now kind of split my fun budget up a little bit, where I'm buying sports cards. I'm not buying as many as I was, but I'm still buying quite a few, and I'm dabbling in these NFTs, and it's a good mix. Like, there's no reason why you have to kill one for the other. You can do a little bit of both.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all, and especially if you can actually buy the pack. Like, that's always been a thing, especially with like the Top Shot. Anytime there's a pack drop, it's you better be there. You better be there. You better be ready. Your payment information better be on point. I mean, you better be ready to click your little ass off and get the packs.
Yeah,
but
so
if you get the packs, you get rewarded for it. So
yeah, Top Shot's been a little bit more, I guess, welcoming to the broader public lately with their Series 3 that they have. But they still do more limited stuff as well, which is harder to get into. But just think of it like in the sports card world, you can be that guy sitting at Target waiting for the guy to stock the shelves, or, you can go to your LCS and hopefully they haven't ran out of something on release day, whatever. It's the same thing. Like, sometimes you just got to be the first one there.
Yeah. Anything else about NFTs, man? I really don't have any questions. I just had some real basic stuff like the screenshot and the digital stuff and the Top Shot fucking up this week.
Top Shot fuck up was people didn't like it.
Oh, I'm sure.
What's also nice about stuff like this too is, Top Shot fucked up, especially on Friday, really bad. It was a $49 pack, but what you can also do in the digital world that you can't really do, like if you buy a pack of Topps cards at Target and all the cards are cut bad, like, you're just shit out of luck, right?
All right.
Top Shot gave you your money back Friday if you bought a pack. Like, you got a free pack.
Yeah.
So that's some other things that you can, like, if there is a mess up like that, it can be fixed.
And the other good thing with the digital, and this is something that I don't think is going to be noticed as much, because I think the demographic that this applies to is not the demographic that's going to be getting into NFTs. but it's relatively simple to sell a common card, and you don't have to worry about the postage involved with shipping the common card to somebody who's building a set and needs like 3 cards that are worth a combined 5 cents. And there's no reasonable way to ship those to another human. So you can, if it gets to a point where they flood, and I don't mean flood in a bad way, but if they flood out some releases and people actually want to collect the entire set, you said there's an 80 card set. If they make a 400 card set and people want to take the time to put it together, a 400 NFT set or whatever it is, it's going to be more approachable to build the set. I think it's set building, which is, in my opinion, become a thing of the past. All the middle-aged and older folks argue with me, but I say it mostly as a joke, but it really is true. I mean, there's so many different releases, and it's so hard to trade cards with people on the internet. It's just hard to come to terms and then to agree with shipping practices and all of that. It could make the common stuff very, very approachable for people that just want to have fun in the space and not worry about the money side of things. Because like I've said, even on this show, I fucking hate money. So sometimes it's just about enjoying things. Like when the Cubs traded everybody this summer, I found like 4 boxes of Cubs boxes just said Cubs on them. I'm like, fuck it. I sat down here for like 3 hours one night. Just, what do I got in here? I'm like, oh, there's so much cool shit in here that's worth nothing to anybody. But to me, it's mine and it's badass. So like, I found like the old throwback Bowman, like Mariano Rivera's rookie card where he's in like street clothes. I got like Rizzo and Chris Bryant and like throwbacks of that. And I'm like, oh, this stuff's awesome. But so that's it. It's just another way to use it, I think, in a way that goes against what happens in the physical space, because the post office sucks.
That's a good point that I didn't even really touch on. So like when I opened my packs, I didn't want any, like, it was all 81 All-Stars. So I mean, 40 of them are pitchers, right? So I just took all my pitchers and I sold them, and I sold them in like 2 minutes. Like, you just put them up on the marketplace for a price that's reasonable, and someone buys them, right? Because people are putting these sets together, or they really want a Mark Melanson NFT for some reason, whatever it is. It's super easy to get rid of the stuff you don't want. And then all that stuff I sold, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take this and I'm going to buy this now because I don't have it and I want it, right? I didn't have to ship anything. I didn't have to go anywhere. It was super easy to do.
Right.
I was able to complete that prospect set. So that was just something I wanted to do.
Yep.
I was like, it's their first one of their first sets. There's only 30 of them. I think I can do this. So I knocked it out in like a week and a half. Finished the set,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Set building's back on NFTs, ladies and gentlemen. Pav, you got anything else, bud?
Buy Juan Soto.
Ooh.
It's a
day.
Good advice. Good advice.
Jim, man, dude, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Jim Rosati, ladies and gentlemen, Derby City Breaks. You can find him on Facebook. Derby City Breaks. He's on Twitter. Was it Northside Notch on Twitter?
Northside Notch on Twitter. Yep.
Yeah, Brosati's got a lot of followers, so go give him another follow. He knows all about NFTs, so you can pester him and not me, because I don't know anything about NFTs still.
Come on! I just talked on it for like 45 minutes,
almost an hour. No, you did a fantastic job, and I think it's gonna be a very good segment for a lot of people who are curious about it. So that's exactly why we wanted to do this. I never think the things I want to do are gonna take as long as they do, like the Series 1 breakdown. But once you just start talking, I mean,
you got to talk about all that crappy Series.
You got to explain it to people, right? Yeah. So I have like there's more than just Wander, but it's not great. But yeah, that's it, everybody. That's gonna do it for the episode. Pav, as always, man, I love having you here. Sorry about your Facebook. Jason Barr, our good friend, he lost his house and all of his shit. So if there's anything you listeners want to do, find me. Reach out to me, Brad Ross, Underground Case Breaks. And our guest NFT expert, Jim Brosati. Like I said, Derby City Breaks. He's down there. He's a big Pirates fan. So just make sure you check it all out. If you are listening on the audio platforms, please make sure to leave a review or a rating. It does not have to be a 5-star review. I'm not asking you to lie. If you like the show and like what we're doing, tell your friends, spread it along. We started charting on the podcast, which is something I didn't know existed. So let's just keep this thing going, and we'll have another episode for you next week. Like we said last time, we'll be shooting for Tuesdays or Wednesdays. This is Wednesday when we set up with Jim. So this is going to be out super late tonight or very early Thursday morning. And then anything we do in between, like I said, we have some things going on this weekend, and Pav got his social media stolen from him by the fine folks of Asia, I assume. So I'm sorry to hear that.
Some famous singer or some shit.
Famous singer.
Oh,
Vietnamese, he said. So that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Wander Franco is all you need to know about 2022 Series 1. There's lots to like about the Candy digital platform. I think it's a good thing. I don't have anything against it. Like we explained, combustion engines have only been around for so long before they evolved. The internet's only been around so long before it evolved. Sports cards and the hobby, or sports in general. Tickets used to be paper tickets. Now we have digital tickets. Everything is, it's just where we're headed. So hop on board. At least check it out before you say it's terrible. Or take your screenshot and keep being a troll. I mean, whatever you want to do. I just want folks to be happy. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for watching, listening. We'll see everybody next time. Peace.